아 보였어요.
궁극기 한 대 한 대가 매우 아픕니다만. 여기서
제로지.
아니 제로진 판단이 방금 전에 궁극기 로켓을 저기서 Q로 안 누르고 평타 친 다음에 그대로 콤보로 들어가는 게 와 너무 깔끔한데요?
그것도 너무 좋았고 그냥 궁극기를 맞추기보다는 상대의 무빙을 제약하면서 거리를 좁히는 데 사용하고 순간적인 콤보 데미지로 양을 먼저 잡아버리는 진짜 대단한 그런 플레이가 나왔습니다.
이러면은 CNJ 입장에서 아무것도 할 수가 없어요.
1킬도 더 내주지 않고 이 상황
와 경기네이트 완벽합니다.
이렇게 마무리.
일단은 그런 부분이 지금 성장 속도를 치는데 한번거를 하게 됐고, 저 CNJ
이들께를 다
우리 여기서 넉백 2명 하면서
아 근데 체력 관리가 너무 안 돼 있긴 해요.
이게 또 춤이 걸려가지고 여기서 스킬을 연계를 더 못해줬던 게 CNJ가 살짝 부착이 됐고, 오히려 여기서 킬각을?
우리 백수는 진짜 좋은 의미로 짐승 같은 남자예요.
진짜 백수.
네.
갑자기 화가 나가지고 급발진 걸려갖고.
그렇죠. 심지어 거기에서 뭔가 엠마인 스킬까지 적중이 됐다면 킬각이 나와?
보여줘야 될 것 같은데, 이거 블랑이슈가 추격이 좋으니까 생명의 나무를 감히 가져가? 우리 앞에서 이렇게 추격이 좋은데? 자 그래서 치고 들어가 봅니다만 알론소가 앞쪽에서 굉장히 잘 막아주고 있다는
잠시만요.
아니 어떻게 왔어요?
잠시만요.
진짜 비례 세조.
이거 탈락이에요 이러면
탈락입니다.
여기까지가 그룹 스테이지에서 마무리가 되나요?
구득점으로 4라운드를 마치는 미래의 세종입니다.
만들면서 저렇게 빨아들이면서 싸우는 각을 보니까 정말 힘들었고, 자 여기서 이번엔 진입각은 굉장히 잘 들어갔거든요. 하지만 진호 선수가 지금 좋았는데 세드헤드 앞으로
자 그래서 경기네이트를 잡아내는 오토함즈.
이러면은 여기서 오토함즈가 진짜 크게 있는 끝까지
가드다리 터뜨리면은 이거 정우 선수 갈 곳이 없거든요.
가드 일단 성공을 했고 여기서 넉백으로 막아버리니까 태경 선수 끝까지 따라갈 수 있을 것 같습니다만
이거는 레드골드 광고.
와 피컷이 깔끔하게 들어오면서 리다이린 잡아내는데 성공. 자 이러면은 CNJ는 자신들의 운영 해야 되거든요. 하지만 여기서 태경 선수가 놔주질 않아요.
자 토마호크 스핀.
이 미러전.
자 근데 스테이크 가득 차 있는 태경 선수거든요.
와 이거 아니면은 나눠져서 살궁리 해보나요?
자 어떻게든 살자일지 아니면 한
이거는
명이랑 잡으면 되는 거 아니야?
어차피
잡으면
싸워야
되는 거
된다.
아니야?
어차피 싸워야 되니까 일단 싸워보자인 건데, 블랑스가 여기서 오면은
세대인데 구도가 너무나 좋습니다.
KW! 여기서 축구배달 너무 깔끔하죠? 아니 이게 무슨. 자 하지만 여기서 할 거 다 했고 세리가
살아야 된다.
승전보?
승전보가 터져요.
승전보? 에어본? 맞췄고 여기까지인가요 CNJ. 하지만 여기는 그래도 엠바거든요.
근데 이거 시간이 부족해요. 결국 학교로 다시 돌아가야 되는데
스와데스는 두 팀.
온라인 구도는 확실히 마코스가 버텨주는 힘이 강합니다.
이제 세 번째 최종 생존 도전입니다.
자 이번에는 해내야 될 것 같은 POX인데 일단 싸움이 걸렸죠.
그렇죠. 침착하게 POX도 밀고 나가고 있는 시점인데, 아드리아나가 포킹 하나하나 넣는 게 지금 뒷라인한테 굉장한 타격을 주고 있지만 세비 선수 먼저 잡아냈고, 이거 포커싱으로 이렇게 풀어 나가보나요? BNK?
자 교환조차 주지 않고 구석에서
마코스가 안 죽어요. 체력이 계속 차고요. 그냥 너무 단단합니다. 자 이거 넘어가는 중이에요.
예.
네. 회로를 막겠다죠.
그렇죠.
이렇게 마무리가 됩니다. BNK POX 마지막.
이게 근데 사실 키아라라는 실험체 자체가 좀 후반부를 많이 보는 실험체긴 하거든요. 한번 박치기 한번 해보나요?
요렇게 싸움을 시작하면은 우리도 좀 할만하다. 근데 이거 키아라 궁키는 순간 좀 빠질 준비도 하고 있는 것 같긴 하거든요. 하지만 여기서 더 빠져나가기 힘들다. 칼라 궁기로 묶어놨기 때문에 더 빠지기 힘들어요. 자 내려 찍어야 되는데 찍기 전에 잡아버리면 그만이거든요.
자 그리고 막나니 선수가 궁극기 활용을 너무나 기가 막히게 해서 이게 결국 6기의 궁극기의 데미지도 실패해놨고요.
근데 이거 생명의 나무 먹고 도망가는 거 좀 괘씸하거든요. 자 그래서 더 치고 들어가 봅니다만 막나니 선수 커버가 너무 좋았고, 프레이가 있으니까 살짝 견제를 해보는 모습.
예, 아디나 대 아디나 구도 있기 때문에 따라가는 쪽이 좀 더 불리하긴 하거든요.
그렇죠. 하지만 퀘이크로 유리한 자리 잡아내는데 성공을 해가지고 여기서 북카 선수를 노려보는데
근데 짱이 선수의 프리딜각이 나와버렸어. 이게 윌리엄이거든요.
자, 망나니 일단 여기서
여기 나갔던 길이 하필이면 삼도류파 변이 맞고 그대로
자, 영혼수학
안 터졌어요.
터졌어요.
이거 터졌으면 잡혔는데 안 터졌어요.
일단 버티.
사실 위치가 너무 좋지 않거든요. 그렇죠? 그래서 본인들이 아래쪽 지역을 장악하고 싶은데 이게 셀린이다 보니까 그 팔 길이 차이를 극복하기 힘듭니다. 그렇다고 걸자니 힐이 너무 많아요. 그래도 걸어보나요? 지역 선수가 위험한
오.
갔거든요.
자, 근데 이거 빈결 2명 제대로 들어가니까 이거 포커싱 깔끔해서 딜러진이 아무것도 못하고 녹아버렸어요.
와, 이거
와. 여기서도 뭔가 노려볼 수 있나요?
와, 애쇼. 지금 엘레나 궁극기 없는데도 상대방의 스킬 소모 어느 정도 했으니까 유리한 지형 잡을 수 있다라고 생각을 해가지고 살짝 들어가줬고.
자, 그리고 하이는 이거 킬 무조건 먹어야 됩니다. 시간이 너무 부족해요.
그렇죠. 자, 그래서 레온
그렇죠.
킬을 충분히 먹는 데 성공을 했고, 자, 시간도 벌었고 스킬 풀도 벌었습니다. 자, 이러면은.
마이가 캐릭터를 썼지만 호응해줄 수 있는 스킬이 없어서 2타까지 들어가진 않았고요. 자,
순간적인
이제 프리들과 시간은 애셔가 살짝 불리한 상황.
근데 뭐 거의 뭐 비슷해가지고 이거.
자, 아티팩트.
아티팩트
아티팩트.
와,
이러면
블래스터! 와, 이거 블래스터 포커싱 당했는데.
또 피노바트로 쿨감 챙겨주는데
그냥
되게 물리면 위험한 그런 아이템들이긴 하거든요.
그렇죠. 자, 이거 한방 타이밍에 자 마이의 궁극기 소모가 일단 되는
짱이
거를
선수가.
봤고.
짱이.
짱이.
마지막 한 방 안 들어갔고요.
프리아도 히카시 선수가 프리아 궁극기로 한턴 지켜내는데 성공.
자, 근데 이쪽은 문과 선수가 계속해서 힐을 줄 수 있고 하이는 앉았다 와야 되거든요. 자, 이거 한 대라도 맞으면 죽는다예요.
아직까지 그래도 블래스터 선수의 궁극기가 남아있습니다. 이거 한 방은 남아있고 마이의 궁극기가 지금 소모가 된 시점이기 때문에 어떻게든 한 번만 포커싱 잘 들어가면 되거든요. 그래서 뒤쪽까지 문과 선수 노려보러 가는데 블래스터 여기서 짱이 선수를 노려봅니다만 도발로 막아주는 팽.
자, 여기에서 중요해요. 여기에서 짱이 선수 잡을 수 있느냐? 블라스터 선수의 스킬샷이 굉장히 중요합니다.
와.
그렇죠.
자,
짱이
여기
여기서
블라스터!
블라스터! 아끼고 아낀 궁극기를 적중시키는데 성공합니다.
자, 이러면 승전부 받고 이어지는 교전 문과 선수가 잡아내는 거죠. 자, 블라스터 천천히 스파다 모아서 들어갑니다.
조용히 녹이면 되는데 북카 선수 시간이 이제 거의 없어요.
와, 하이가 이 어려운 교전을 이 아이템 차이를 극복해냅니다.
네, 15킬 마무리.
자신들이 지금 아이템적으로 유리한 거를 너무나도 잘 알고 있어요. 그리고 단검무 스킬로 살짝 정근해줬고 이 좁은 거에서 또 궁극기만 잘 들어간다면
자, 근데 일단 이렇게 안쪽하고 들면서 테이크를 가지고 있고요.
오히려 쇼를 녹이는데 성공을 했습니다.
네, 머리를 돌려놨기 때문에 블라스터 선수까지 위험한 상황.
이거는 자 하이팀 비상인데요. 지셀라 혼자서 이 구석에서 살아남기는 힘들어 보입니다.
시간도
레이시
없고요.
잡아내면서
지금 혹시 빠르게 한번 살려볼 수는 없나요?
근데 아무래도 크레딧은 있지만 크레딧을 쓸만한 곳이 루미가 오네요.
룸이라도 건드려
네.
놓으면 되긴 하거든요.
근데 루미 건드리는 거 보고 하이가
자,
안 갈 이유가
히카시가
없거든요.
살렸어요.
여기서 살렸어.
이게 복사가 된다고 인데
운명의 건 싸움.
잠깐만요.
레이시.
레이시가 살짝 위험한
오.
위치거든요. 이거
와.
오히려 역으로 치고 나갈 수 있습니다. 레이시.
자, 이거 루미 멈추면 사이버즈 내려오거든요. 그래서 도망가는. 자, 그리고 그냥 사이버즈 또 먼저 맞춰졌어요. 도깨비불이
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is 5 a.m. Central Time, 4 a.m. No, it is 3 a.m. Pacific Time. I got
Yeah.
it right. And 6 a.m. Eastern Time on an Eternal Return Masters weekend. That means we are back for another set of games here today. We are. You know what? I'll let you guys read up above. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You guys can read. If you only have me on audio, well, okay, I'll tell you. It's the Wildcards. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys had a fantastic, let's see, somewhere around 19 hours ever since we saw you guys last. Hopefully you guys are ready for another banger series because now we are deciding the last 4 teams to play in the finals tomorrow, Meek.
Yeah, I mean, these wildcard teams are going to be insane, honestly. Yesterday, we saw a lot of really close groups between Groups A and Group B, and teams just barely getting relegated out. I mean, it was just insanely close, so I'm expecting a lot of action today.
Oh, absolutely. And you guys can see the list of the players and the teams that are going to be playing in the wildcards today. If you were here yesterday, of course, some of these names are going to be very much familiar with what kind of teams are actually going to be playing here today. But if in case you weren't here yesterday, oh my, the group stages had some very, very unexpected turn of events. But these are the teams that are going to be playing today in the wildcards: DHCNJ, Auto Arms, Blanche, and Saber coming through from Group A. We have Team High, Asher, Tejan Cybers, and coming in from Group B.
Yeah, I mean, is definitely the underdog coming into this group of wildcard teams because all these other teams here are teams that could have very easily, honestly, made it to the finals yesterday and not even been in wildcards today. These guys are all so talented.
Indeed, and you know what? The team that I'm going to be looking at specifically today is probably going to be Team This is a team that yesterday struggled definitely through the first few games of their group stage games, and then in the final game, they really stepped up. What was it? 11 kills in second or third place? They managed to get enough points to overtake all of their other competitors in that new ERM team kind of esque niche that they had little down there in the bottom of the scoreboard. They managed to beat them out. They secured their spot at least going into the wildcards. Been given a little bit of a fresh air, right? A bit of a breathing room. But this is the wildcards. The amount of teams here that are not going to let Team just get away for free is monumental.
Yeah, I mean, you can see here that they've got the voting as well, and it's reflected in the voting. Team I mean, they're definitely the new kids on the block with only 10% of the fans voting for them through all the Group B teams. And if you look at the Group A teams, actually Blanche is the one that got the least amount of votes, which is pretty interesting because those guys are good.
Yeah. Absolutely. If anything, though, you do have to say that Group A teams, there is a lot of competition between those 4 teams right now, right? It's not too surprising that any one of these teams are going to have a relatively low % chance because all of these teams have dedicated fan bases behind them. So it's a good thing that at least they all got some votes, right? I haven't seen a team with 0% votes yet, which is the good part.
That would be devastating to see. Yeah, this guy's got 0.09% of votes. It's like, oh god.
See, that's when we start writing the script, though.
yeah, exactly, right. That's when they win first place. Yeah, that would be the Cinderella story, honestly. But yeah, I mean, you're totally right with these teams having very dedicated fan bases. All of these teams have even players that just have dedicated fan bases. You got players like G-Work, players like Curry. You got the list goes on and on, honestly.
Absolutely, and that's why it's all the more devastating that some of our teams are going to be eliminated from the finals here today. But of course, all of the teams that made it into the wildcards, they can breathe a little bit more of a sigh of relief. Another one, I guess, for Team but in this case, we haven't really talked about the format for today. I guess they haven't really brought up the screen just yet, unless they're about to do that. I'm not entirely sure. But all of the teams that are in the wildcards right now, they will be given, even if it's a little bit, even if they get eliminated here today, they will be given a little bit of that season final circuit point. So that's a bit of a sigh of relief again for these teams, but we're not even going to let that seep in because we're going to go straight into game number 1. These people are not playing around. They want to go home early, Meek.
Yeah. You know what? No talking about the format, no talking about the prizes or nothing. Let's get right into the games. Blanche is running a significantly different comp than yesterday. Wow. Bear is on my duty now. He's been subjugated.
It would definitely
And
seem so. His Adriana yesterday was pretty good, but you and I specified a lot into the reasons why Adriana definitely struggles in lobbies where there is a lot of mobility. But look at this lobby right now. We have a couple bans already coming in. We have, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4 Mice coming through. We have 3 Priya, so that's another ban. I think we have 2 Yans, 2 Elenas, 2 Hearts, 3 Hearts. Oh, baby, we got 3 bans
We
in the
got
first game.
3 bans coming through in the first game. What the heck?
We're gonna have a fun series today, Beak.
This game 2 is gonna be insane with all the bans because these teams are gonna have to shake up what they're doing significantly. We could see what else could get banned from this group. Maybe Elena could get banned in the next game with Mai going out of the picture. A lot of these Mai teams might try to substitute with Elena. We could see a Yan ban as well. Yeah, we did see that yesterday. So, we'll have to see how game 2 goes. But I definitely think an Elena ban will end up happening. And we'll see if the repeat from yesterday as well. I mean, we saw the Priya ban in the first game, but then Priya ban never came back for Group B. So, and what's interesting is Group B had a Priya ban, but 2 of the teams from Group A are running Priya now. So, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, it seems like the Priya value is just starting to rise exponentially throughout the course of the weekend, and for good reason. She's been very, very good at dissuading a lot of the fights. This is something that if you've played up against Priya, if you've watched ERM in the recent seasons, you would probably know, because her popularity within tournaments have definitely gone up. Another character that really does excel when you do have communication between your teammates, because Echoes of the Earth is so good at nullifying some of these initiation characters with internal return. That, you know what? Let's see how this entire series goes, because right now, just with the picks, I'm already expecting a great one week. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 is up and loaded. Let's see which 4 teams move on into the finals and which 4 teams gets eliminated after today.
Yeah, and you touched upon it perfectly with Priya denying a lot of hard engagements, and we have characters like Jan, characters like Elena, characters like Mai that will definitely want to have a hard engage and are a little bit premeditated in their engage too, because Jan needs to use his Q twice in order to get the knockup. Elena needs to access a freeze, which, I mean, Priya's ult is also an unstoppable, so it acts as a bit of a counterplay to it. And Mai as well, in order to land the catwalk, she first needs to dash to a ward or a target. So yeah, it's not as easy as just instant snappy CC for these characters. Have a little bit of a reaction time that Echoes of the Earth kind of just counterplays to. Wow. Okay, that's a
healing drone.
But looks like we have our usual early game shenanigans. I mean, we're only a minute into the game and we're already seeing teams grouped up, looking for kills, trying to hunt people down. I mean, it looks like Blanche is going to get a kill in Forest here onto Su. Yes, 100 Su goes down. And it looks like, yeah, a bunch of teams are getting kills across the boards. Auto Arms, Blanche, and Saber all picking up kills.
The 2 members from Team ended up falling down in stream, which is why, yeah, that Heart probably had to get away. She luckily did. Whereas now, Sebi is the one in a little bit of trouble, taken down to about a quarter of HP, but these 2 teams already fought, which means a lot of resources have already been invested. KCW looking for an angle in on towards the demo. Nice block on the Bunny Morph means that Sebi's not going to go down in this specific case. Bear trying to find something. Sebi still dodging out on a lot of really good skills. Public trying to chase it down. Peksu, he's fighting up against the Mai. Not exactly going to be the best matchup this early into the game. Sebi's still alive too, though. Is he going to be able to stay alive long enough? Dodging out on a lot of skills. No SP remaining on Public. He has to get out of Research Center. And wow, Sebi on this demo, juking a lot of skills, blocking a lot of damage. That's damage mitigated stat, just onto the moon.
And they end up finding their way to a kill on the tail end of things as well. Wow. But DHC and J now just down to Bobo, and he's got to get the heck out of here. I mean, oh, Su actually revived, so he's actually okay for now. But it's getting a little scary now. Blanche and Asher are fighting in the tail end of things, and it looks like Asher is just taking complete control of this fight, finding their way to killing Sebi, and yeah. Whew, that's a lot of action at once.
Yeah, it is extremely difficult for both Team Blanche as well as DHC and J right now, because both of these teams have been constantly duking it out against each other in Forest, that none of these players have really been able to lock in and just kind of go for those animal hunts that are super critical in day number 1. All the wolves just gone, all the boars. Both of those teams had to fight over animals inside a forest, and yes, there is a few, but when you start sharing it between 2 different teams, your mastery is definitely going to suffer, and we see DHC and J and Team Blanche struggling as soon as Night 1 begins because of it.
Yeah, I mean, some of them were still level 7 during all of those fights, while, you know, other members were level 8 and 9 on the map, so... Yeah, I mean, the XP disadvantage as well coming into play. You're losing that skill point, you're losing those stats, but Team High gonna get caught out here by AutoArm. The stasis is not going to be enough to save Hikasi here, but the exclusive will be to pull him out. But Blaster now kind of left for dead on the backside, while Hikasi and Young Kwai go for a bit of a jog. AutoArm's picking up 2 kills now and taking control of Temple before the objective rotation.
I think that was a little bit of a misplay from Hikase, because usually you use Echoes of the Earth and then you use Totem, but he went into Totem first before proccing his ultimate. Just like here, right there. Yeah, there you go. Xenophine did it correctly, yeah. But they're still on the back foot of the fight. Nice exclusive to bring Xenophine back, but there's the crowd controls lock-in coming through from Pied. Trying to get the kill onto Bear, they do end up getting it. Twins Rush is actually going to get Bear out. Never mind, Bear's the one that's going to die. There we go, Sebi's the one that ends up making it out, which means Team Asher, they're going to get the 2-for-1 victory down in Beach, and on top of that, pick up the Meteorite. A ton of fights happening across the board too. Look at the number of swords flashing, look at the number of numbers blinking on the bottom side of our screen. People are really duking it out for these objectives, and that is a clear-cut difference from yesterday where it was a lot more of a passive early game.
Yeah, yesterday, I mean, we saw a couple kills happening here in their early game. No early game team fighting like we saw in Forest. No, and a lot of the objectives, I mean, we saw Forest... Oh,
what was that?
Good night, Sadhan. You messed up the dodge on the freeze. It's okay, because you will be revived. The consequences are not dire here for that. But, another fight breaking out in the warehouse. Like, okay, it looks like Asher is going to take this fight here. Blanche is on the backside here. Sebi trying to find some sort of damage, but he's just running down this poor heart. He's not able to do anything. And yeah, Blanche actually, despite being a little late to this fight, finds the angle they need to winning it. And the power of Priya was shown.
Yeah, and luckily the Yan manages to slip on out of there. Even the Lena does too, but it was a really bad situation for Team Asher being corralled into a corner like that. Them being alive has got to feel lucky in this situation. And for Team Asher, they managed to get the 1-up on Team Blanche and Forest earlier, but now Blanche is the one capitalizing on the early game kills up against Team DHC and J. Now they're both trying to do the same thing. Beautiful double knockup coming through from KCW, perfectly capitalized by Beksu, landing that Striker Tiger onto JCP. Down goes the Fiora, down goes the Mai, 2-for-0 in favor of Team DHC and J. And we have yet another one of our early game teams starting to capitalize on the early snowball.
Yeah, DHC and J, I mean, that fight was just immaculate from them. The CC chain was perfect, the damage focusing was perfect. It was just looked like clean communication from their team. I'm glad to see that they're starting to day off with that kind of play. But I'm gonna get caught out here. Oh no, this box is gonna go to the wayside here. Poor Kachu, I believe he called in a force core.
It is.
And this is just gonna get completely controlled by Saber here. I mean, Curry is just shooting everybody who approaches this box, and now with the battle zone closing as well, Kachu is going to be lucky to be able to get that box back. Meanwhile, up in Temple, KCW completely chunked out of this fight. Pixu also going to go down here. Yeah, AutoArm's looking pretty good. What? Sadhan just exploded, and now JCP is stuck in the corner, and C&J has completely turned this fight around. Bao Bao's still alive. Cinema won't be able to do anything here.
They both got so greedy trying to go for the corpse. They wanted the Executioner bonus HP, but it got them both killed. Inside of school, Team Alm gonna fall down to Team Saber, and another one of our teams just slowly but surely scaling their way up. It's a slowly but sure push for Team Saber. 4 overall kills, 1 field kill across the board, and another fight down on the south side. Beautiful crowd control rotation onto the members of Tejon Cybers. Team Blanche trying to get a little bit more done. Sebi just assassinates Dina and Revolu. Down goes the 2 backliners, which means Mai has to book it.
Yeah, good presence of mind from Nagnani to just I mean, he saw the hard ult go down. He has a choice. Do I try to back them up or do I just run away? He realized the health deficit was too large and just got out. But looks like C&J and Asher are posturing here. G-Work skating in towards KCW. KCW looking to turn this. The freeze is just going to come out now. It looks like KCW is going to go down. Pixu on the backside getting beat up by Pied. And meanwhile, over in Chapel, we have Bear getting brought down by Team And yeah, Pixu is on the run here. Yeah, there is going to be some backup. Oh, the denial of the White Lily. Very good by Chol.
The timing was just perfect, and the fight looked so good for a second, but Char, he didn't get taken down from 100 to 0 during the entire rotation of the crowd control, which means the Peacemaker comes down and it allows the Heart to stay alive. The biggest problem with Dylan and Yan is that when their damage rotation is gone, when their combo duration is down, they're on cooldown. Their damage output is not that high. Char times it perfectly with the heal coming in from the Peacemaker, immediately blinks on out of any single situational danger. Everybody else is on cooldown. Very, very difficult for DHC&J. But on the north side, Team Saber and Auto Arms looking for a fight. That is a beautiful White Lily trying to get access to the backline. Curry is just not dealing damage throughout the whole course of this fight. Cinema starts out the fight. The Mutant Dogs are going to be targeting the members of Team Auto Arms at the moment. Team Saber getting a little bit of a break. JCP taken down to about a third of their HP trying to run away. The Rain of Arrows not going to do anything. Just a 0-for-0 trade of mastery between these two teams, but it could have turned really, really bad for Team Auto Arms there.
Oh man, and while Curry wasn't dealing any damage, he certainly wasn't taking any either. The Soul Stealer keeping him completely safe from that whole situation, and then the Dogs completely shutting down that fight. Whoa! Sadhand doing half of Sadhand's health almost instantly. Dushiman trying to push forward, but Sadhand is just kiting it out. The bow skill is going to hit all three members of Auto Arms. Dushiman still pushing forward here. Yeah, they're going to be forced to burn more timer running through red here, and yeah, Saber is going to recognize that Asher is on the tail end of things and is going to try and hightail it out of there. Meanwhile, C&J catching out Kachu from Team and oh no, not catching out. It looks. Wait, what happened here? I guess the Heart took the jump pad, and I don't know what happened exactly there. But yeah, they are gonna find their way to 2 kills over Team
That is brutal for Team minus 500. Our first sets of deaths coming through in game number 1. That's actually gonna cost the credits. They have so many credits within their arsenal right now too. 349 for the Laura, 434 for the Elena. They were trying to buy big, and it ended up costing them. This is some of the reasons why you do want to buy small, get your main transitions going early game before you start snowballing those kind of leads into the late game. Team not going to be even given that opportunity as minus 500 with the number of credits they have at day number 3, considering the caliber of teams that are here. Yeah, you are going to get punished severely once day 4, night 4 starts rolling around.
Yeah, I mean, I always talk about tempo, but what some people at home may not understand is, what is tempo in Eternal Return? Well, it's, keeping on pace with, experience and transitions within the lobby you're in. And generally speaking, I mean, at this level of play, these teams are all going to be on tempo. If not, the teams you'll run into will be above tempo and hit some RNG. Bear looking for a little taunt onto Revolu, but Revolu going to dash over the wall, keep himself safe. Dino looking to establish some poke. Magnati actually finding an engagement, the exclusive, denying the taunt from Magnati. And yeah, the Echoes of the Earth is going to come down as well, so they're going to try and shut this fight down before it even begins. And yeah, they're just going to have to back up and respect that Dejunk Cybers is in an advantage here.
I like the idea of the exclusives. Sometimes you want to hold that up until the last moment, but in a situation like that, the crowd control rotation was way too good. Up on the north side, a fight between Team Asher and Saber. Curry is in a whole heap of trouble, pushed straight into the wall. The Tomahawk Roundhouse is good, the knockups are good. Healing Drone is there, the shield is there, Peacemaker is there. There's another team coming in, and Team Asher now all of a sudden are in the back foot. G-Work gets taken down. Pied needs to get out of here. He gets a shield, but he still needs to run. So much damage coming in as JCP gets a double hit with the Fenty. Oh my god, his ultimate damage is insane. The stuns were good. Dushiman desperately trying to get on out of here. JCP lands yet another outer ring of that Fenty, and I think this Estelle is dead to rights. That's our... Oh, it's not the first team gone. That's the second team gone. Team already
got
died.
Wiped in factory during all of that as well. Oh my god, 2 teams wiped pretty much at the same time. I believe was wiped first, so will be taking 8th and Saber will be taking 7th in this first game. But wow, I think this is the earliest we've seen wipes all ERM so far for Phase 2.
Yeah, that is actually terrible for Team and Saber. It looks so good for Saber, and if anything, I think Team Asher definitely getting away with murder in Alley. Somehow P had managed to get away. I think he might be running what is it? Storm? No, not Stormbringer. What is that? The what is that? Windrunner, I think it is for the Tonfa. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it still
Windrunner.
has the shield passive, right? Like if you land a couple extra skills and you get some movement speed bonus and the shield. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but I think that genuinely may have saved Team Asher in this game so far. But here we go, another fight in Hotel. Kyungkwae in a whole heap of trouble. His healing drone has been popped, but no exclusive whatever to speak of. Team Blanche pressuring the members of Team High, and I don't know if Hikasi can get away. Yes, he can with the support of that Tazia. 1-0 in favor of Team Blanche in Hotel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of interested as to why they didn't try to get a quick little cheeky revive off in Hotel, but perhaps they thought Blanche was a little closer grouped and was a little risky, but they do find a quick little revive here with the remote drone, and perhaps that's why they decided to not go for it, establish a little bit more space and revive in a little more safer spot, which is perfectly good. Auto Arms waiting for this red box to spawn from their flare gun that they must have gotten out of a box, so we'll have to see what kind of red item they scoop up from that in just a second here.
The thing is, everybody on their team can use something. Taproots, just slap it on the Mai. You have crowd control. You have the
Mai has
tank.
armies.
Oh, yeah, you gotta just put it on the Fiora then.
Yeah.
Cooldown reduction on Fiora goes so hard.
But looks like G-Work is going to miss the raw Dance Macabre onto some priority targets here, so Asher is going to back out before DHC and Jake can really do anything about this here. And try to wait for that Dance Macabre cooldown before they commit to something. Meanwhile, over in Beach, we have Team High and Daejong Cybers hovering over each other. Blaster looking for a cheeky little angle here with the wall, but Revolu just barely able to dash out just in time. And now Daejong Cybers is looking to turn this. Magnati starting to step up a little bit, but he is going to take a little bit of poke trying to step up. Meanwhile, over in Temple, these two teams are just fighting in red. I guess the zone is opening up in just a second. It's fine for where they're posturing. Why are they posturing here? What is over in Temple that is so desirable?
I think they were just kind of hanging around the police station and then they both just fought each other. And since police station is closing, you do want to move up towards a zone that is opening anyways. Maybe an ego check, maybe looking for a little bit of the poke. I don't know what it was, but for now they are just kind of holding their ground. Temple, there's a couple teams up there. It does seem a little bit isolated because the only way out is going to be Alley or the Hyperloop, but that should be fine. I don't think any team specifically at this stage of the game is going to go for any big fights. Because it is night number 4, you start losing members now, and now you're in real danger of not being able to finish out this game in your favor.
Especially when you look at the credit scores of a lot of these teams. I mean, if Team High has someone that goes down, they've only got 1 revive. They lose 2 members. They're SOL. A lot of these teams have enough for reviving 1 person, but not 2. And even Team Auto Arms, I mean, they're all in at this point. They have no credits to spare. They cannot afford to lose anybody on their team.
Absolutely. Bear picking up a meteorite, that's pretty good, although a lot of people from Team Blanche is on full transitions. We do end up seeing the Durandal coming through for Sebi. He does have the upgrade with the, I think that was the Dawn upgrade on top of it. He's decked out on this Debbie and Marlene. Do keep an eye out on Team Blanche, because if this Debbie and Marlene stays alive for any longer than I think maybe 5 seconds within the fight, anything is possible. We saw it during phase 1, guys, where team non-responsible, the 1v2s coming through from Debbie and Marlene could definitely be a possibility. We just have to see which teams are actually going to be able to knock down this Debbie and Marlene from the get-go with the Priya and the Mai on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because we have 2 teams running that Priya Mai combination. Oh, okay. Another fight breaking out in the hospital right on the south side. It looks like Xenophine's in the back completely unchecked here. Oh my. Wow, okay. It looks like... How is this? I don't know how, but Team High has completely just lost this fight like entirely. Blanche playing phenomenally there. I mean... Whew, okay.
Yeah, Sebi just refused to take any damage right now.
Yeah.
It is the shield count coming through from the rest of his team on top of the fact that he's running the Debbie and Marlene. I'm pretty sure he has Vampiric. With the Durandal, the amount of healing he's actually getting right now is off the charts. Honestly, I really have no idea how you kill this thing, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. He even has the helmet that gives you the slows. Once you get caught out by this Debbie and Marlene, I highly doubt you're going to be able to get away without taking any sort of punishment. Once you're in the Debbie and Marlene's range, you're either going to have to deal with her or you're going to have to invest a lot of resources to try, right? You're not even guaranteed to get away, to try to get away.
Which allows Xenophine to play exactly how he wants, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was interesting.
That was slick.
But yeah, honestly, but now they recognize that Blaster's completely cut out. The stasis is going to buy him some necessary time. Pixu finding the Striking Tiger, but the exclusive is going to be a great counterplay to that. Revolu completely healthy here, and now with the Striking Tiger on cooldown, their timer's ticking away. Oh, hold on. It looks like Magnani's actually the lowest timer here, but a third party coming in from Auto Arms. They're going to completely reap the benefits here. Down goes KCW and Revolu. Pixu also going to go down to Auto Arms, and they're just completely eating up everything here. They got to win. Like, there's no other way to say it.
I don't even know what the rest of Team High does. With Blaster down, sorry, Daejeon Cybers does. They've been pushed all the way into the deeper ends of gas station. Yeah, they're not going to be allowed to hyperloop out either. Nicely done from Team Auto Arms. They're going to pick themselves up with a couple extra kills. Whereas on the south side, it is an absolute massacre right now. Team High, Kyonkwe completely split away from their Priya. We do see Blanche holding the line within Hotel. Everybody else being pushed away on top of that too. Kyonkwe's going to have to teleport somewhere, but this Priya stuck in the corner. I don't think you want to teleport there. Oh, she's going. I think Team Blanche is going to see this.
Yeah, they're going to see a ping here on top of Ikasi. Oh no!
They just find Ikasi.
Actually, they did not. Yeah, they just find Ikasi, and the Mai does not teleport to Hikasi. I mean, that's probably best case scenario instead of just teleporting to them free and dying alongside them. So Team High just barely holding on there. I mean, they have. Yeah, they're not going to be able to find a revive here, sadly. So looks like Team Asher will be fighting Team Auto Arms over here in archery range, and Blanche will get Forest for free.
Should be the case. Unless Lumi's in a pretty good spot, there are 4 teams, and you do see 10 up on the top side. The numbers on Kyonkwe's timer does not look good. He's even going to get locked down by the Quake, and also the Flowers of Parvati. It is just not good. Kyonkwe will die, and it is, as you said, Meek, Blanche is going to have sole control over Forest, so we're going to come down to a 2v2, a 3v3 between either Auto Arms and Asher versus Blanche. Oh, this is going to get interesting. Who is going to be able to hold control over the temporary zone, and is Sadhan going to be even able to get executed? G-Work's going to try it. He does use the Rapier skill. Nothing really getting done so far, but Cinema getting taken down dangerously low. G-Work is still extremely healthy. The exclusive has been invested. There's the Peacemaker coming online on top of it. The damage is just starting to stack up. JCP gets taken down, but Sadhan is just completely untouched throughout the course of this fight. There's the execute. Blink on in, and Sadhan with the clutch. Beautiful fight coming through from Sadhan. He doesn't care about the Peacemaker and prioritizes the targets that have high HP, and by the time the Peacemaker is over, everybody is still too low HP, and the Razi, perfect assassin to knock the health bar out.
Oh man, Sadhan he was just completely untouched the whole fight. G-Work committing the Rapier skill onto him in the initial part of the engagement, but Sadhan putting full respect onto what Elena can do to him. And then just by that point, he realized, you know, G-Work's investing his cooldowns on other targets. I can step up and play the game here, and he did just that. Sadhan, you know, phenomenal as always on Razi.
Here we go though, Sebi taken down to about 3/4 of their HP. A lot of investments coming through from Team Blanche just from that little initiation. Twins Rush is gone, exclusive is gone. Damage on the JCP is not that bad. Sebi taken dangerously low, but he's still alive. The shield should be coming through in just a moment. He just refuses to die. The healing coming from Vampiric Bloodline is absolutely insane. And now Sadhan's left in the 1v3. We saw this just now, but the health bar disparity is way too much. I don't think the Razi's going to be able to do it. Damage is pretty good, but all Sebi has to do is get on out of there. Blanche with a new composition that we are seeing here today. Bear on the Mai seems to be the answer. 14 kills, first place. GG's.
And you would think this team would lack damage, but Debbie Marlene is, with this amount of utility put behind her, can play exactly how she wants, and is just an absolute demon. And this is on patch 1.32, so the Debbie Marlene nerfs haven't hit yet for live. I believe the nerfs were on 1.33. So yeah, this is definitely a showcase as to why it's getting nerfed. Oh man, that was looking just crazy strong. And with you have Priya utility running behind it, my exclusive and shielding running alongside with it too. It's just so hard to take Sevi down.
I think this is news for me, Meek. I might have to move away from Ekion myself as well and just go to Debbie or Marlene. Sebi is like the guy that I have to look towards for characters that I need to pick or something. Goodness gracious, what a beautiful showcase of how devastating Debbie and Marlene can be. Because remember, at the beginning of the fight, Blanche used pretty much all of their safety net ultimates already. Exclusive was gone, Twins Rush was gone, but then Team Auto Arms got a little bit hasty, didn't reset the fight and sent everybody in. JCP sitting on the Rapier Fury, I think it was, because I believe I saw the Nosferatu on that Fiora. You don't have that many safety nets at all. You have to get the damage down, but Sebi is tanky enough, especially with the Priya coming in. You still have access to the Echoes of the Earth, and you know for sure that once a Fiora is in. She is not getting out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that character goes in one direction typically, especially when you have someone like JCP who can just execute so flawlessly on it and blow people up. He tried to blow up Xenophine at the start of the fight, but Xenophine barely able to stay alive with about half of their health, and just the amount of shielding that was coming through on the re-engagement of the fight was just too much for them to deal with. JCP without his ultimate at that point is going to struggle to try and find a lot of burst damage to try and take a target down.
Yeah, well, beautiful game coming through from Team Blanche, although I will say Team Auto Arms actually had a pretty good game themselves as well. Relatively high kill count on them. If anything, maybe the fight in archery range may have kind of diffused the amount of kills and points lost from losing the fight to Team Blanche, but we'll have to take a look. The score sheet is available. Meek, what have we got ourselves here?
Well, no surprise here. We have Blanche in first and Auto Arms in second. Only a 2-point disparity between them. So despite Blanche getting first, they do have one less kill, so that closes the gap a little bit between them. Then we have a little drop in points here. Asher coming up in third with 13 points. DHC and Jay with 9 points. So these are the top 4 teams right now. As you can see on the screen, the top 4 of Wildcards get out, and the bottom 4 who are in red will be eliminated by the end of everything today. So, Team High, despite getting Wickline, will be bringing up 5th place. Dejung Cybers in 6th, at 7th, and Saber in 8th with 6, 5, 3, and 2 points respectively.
Yeah, but for Team High, even if they had Wick, I just think they fought Team Blanche at such an unlucky time because it happened right after I talked about all the transitions that Sevi had on the Devi or Marlene. Very, very difficult character to lock down in these extended fights, and you know for sure that with a composition like High, they are not going for these quick one-and-done burst rotations. Yes, Priya and Tazia can do that. You know that the Paradiso is going to be able to get a good amount of burst down, but usually Tazia is not the type of character to be able to burst something like a Bruiser 100 to 0. It just does not happen, and it gives time for Sebi to proc the False Oath. It gives her time to deal more damage, get the Vampiric Bloodline stacks up. Priya shields her, effective HP, you get the healing, you get the exclusive. Very, very tough to knock down.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, and we'll have to see how this affects the next game because, I mean, Blanche's team, 2 of their 3 characters are going to be banned coming into this second game, so I mean, we're not unfamiliar with seeing the players of Blanche run a different composition. In fact, what they just ran right now is what we're not used to seeing. So it'll be interesting to see what they usually run, how effective it is in this next lobby.
Absolutely. I hope we can see more compositions like that coming through from Team Blanche, but either way, we're not going to be able to see it in game number 2 exactly the way it was because Mai is banned. Guys, if you guys were not paying attention to character select, oh my god, we have 3 bans coming in game number 2 already off the bat.
When's the last time you've seen 3 bans?
I think the last time I saw 3 bans was like, you know those force bans from new characters? Like, for example, Human's not being played here, although I will say that's a little bit absolutely forced because we're still playing on 1.32 for the Wildcards, and I guess this weekend as a whole, so Human's technically not released on this client yet, but it is pretty funny, that triple ban at the bottom right. This was something that Circadia and I theorized way back in the days when the ban system came out. What happens if you get more than 3 bans?
Yeah, I've never seen it, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I guess they'll they'll update the interface with a little bit more space to squeeze everybody's face in there at the bottom.
We're gonna have to squint to see which characters are banned.
Yeah, honestly, but this problem will become lessened and lessened. I feel as more and more characters get released, because at that point you have a little bit more variety. Coming into this second game, do we have any bans? Maybe an Estelle ban? No, looks like
only
Estelle is
two.
safe. Elena's
Elena.
actually safe.
2 Rosie's, 2 Estelles, no bans, nothing at
No
all.
bans. Wow, that's surprising. All of these teams having different strategies to fall back on for their off picks for when Mai gets inevitably banned. So, yeah, we're actually going to be in full force coming next game.
It does also seem like we are going back to the similar strategies that a lot of these teams opted to bring out yesterday, where once a pivotal character within their original composition decides to get banned out like this, you just completely swap to a different kind of composition. You can see on the side of Team Blanche, they're just going back to their bread and butter that we saw yesterday, with Bear sitting on the Adriana, Sebi on the Ekion, and Xenophine on the Sua. Same thing for multiple teams across the board. Team Saber completely flip-flopping their team composition. Same thing for Team High. It is, I think, one of the benefits of some of these teams being able to practice against some of our National League teams. They understand that situations like this are going to happen, that you do need backup rosters, so I do love it. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 is locked and loaded. After this game, we're going to go on to a little bit of a break, and of course, a third of our games for the wildcard stages are going to be done, but the score sheet will still change, so don't you worry about that.
Yeah, no, and Saber running a very familiar backline that we saw yesterday with this Haze Nadine so effective and just so much damage from so far away. It's almost impossible to really contest them at objectives when you have that much of a range advantage. But today we're seeing it alongside an Estelle, so we'll see how that changes the dynamic compared to what we saw Youngie doing last yesterday. What am I talking about? Yeah, yesterday when they ran it alongside Mai and Nikki.
Yeah, the only problem is, are they going to be able to outdo the performance from Mita and Sejong, right? Because they also took their chance yesterday during the group stages and completely fell flat. It is really unfortunate, but I think Gyeonggi Inne was one of those teams that just executed that composition to its fullest extent and also had a lobby dynamic that really worked out in their favor. But with the fact that Mai, Priya, and the Heart getting banned, you can see the rosters completely flip-flopping around. I don't think this is going to be as an easy lobby as we saw Gyeonggi Inne have it in the group stage A games from yesterday. But here we go. Early game fights between Auto Arms as well as DHC and J. JCP landing some incredible flashes. The stuns are coming through. The reses are coming in as well. Pubba is going to get taken down. So far it's a 1-for-1, but I think KCW is going to get locked down. Overall, a 2-for-1 victory for Team Auto Arms.
The team from JCP and Asadhan was just synchronized. It was so, honestly, like, captivating to witness. I mean, it was, like, completely synchronized. They both were on the same, like, wavelength there on what to do. But, meanwhile, over in Pond, it looks like Blanche is going to lose one of their members. Xenophine now also on the run. A little low on SP, but they're going to find their way to this White Lily. Is it going to be enough? No, but the speed gate will be. So, Xenophine staying alive, denying another kill.
Indeed, a lot of picks in the earlier stages of the game. Players still separated from a majority of their compositions. We talked about Team High yesterday with the Shukai. Another rare pick we mentioned yesterday, it's going to be brought out again today. We saw how squishy this character can be, right? The only real stat that buffers his tankiness is going to be his raw health number, which means defense isn't going to be that biggest of a deal, especially considering the fact that we saw High Shukai yesterday running the dagger Shukai. You don't get additional defenses out of that. You don't get additional HP out of it like some of the spears do. You really have to play your fights correctly.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely saw that exactly that yesterday, and we joked about the dagger skill, you know,
Assassin
usage, Assassin Shukai, full
pre-release,
pre-release, back in the solos days when Dagger Shukai was actually a bit of a menace for a little bit. There was also a point in time where Dagger Shukai was building crit.
I remember that, yeah, but
which was also very silly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's no longer, well, I mean, it's certainly possible, but it's no longer something people would do because of the changes in scaling.
Indeed. Well, we'll see if Team High is able to get things done. I would assume by this stage in the game, Shukai is going to be max stacked right now. Satan getting caught out by the members of DHC&J, another pick this late into the game. So I do suppose most of our teams right now, after game number 1, we can definitely tell that they are bloodthirsty, looking for these early game fights, looking for these early game picks. But also, these teams are really playing for the map itself. We talked about the benefits and the negatives of split farming like this in the earlier stages of the game. We saw the exact results of it yesterday on top of it too. But teams are actually opting to do it. But now that objectives are coming in, now they're starting to group up.
Yeah, and with this meteorite spawning as well, we're gonna have launch and C&J contest it. Bao landing some good poke on his Xenophine here. The spell shield already used as well without any resets, so Sebi's gonna go in actually here. Xenophine's not really able to follow up here or do anything off of what Sebi's doing, but Sebi is creating a lot of chaos and getting a lot of damage down. And the Adriana damage from afar as well is actually proving to be a lot of area of effect. But meanwhile on the backside, Pixu completely catching up Bear. Bear forced to use the blink to get away, to regroup with his team. The fight is going in the favor of Blanche here on the tail end of things within that 2v2, with Bear being able to group back up, but it looks like Saber is actually here to third party. This fight going on too long, this meteorite being too enticing for teams to start piling into.
Perfectly done for Team Auto Arms. Does pick up a couple extra things. That's not Team Auto Arms, sorry, up on the top side, because JCP just got taken down. It was Team Saber to pick that one up. We saw the Nadine split farming by herself, which means her stack count is probably really good. Satan coming in with the flank with this haze. Team Blanche still missing out on their Adriana somewhere around the map, and she's not really going to be of any assistance for the time being. Satan trying to dissuade Sebi from coming in. The damage output is not bad from the Zekion, but the White Lily is going to push everything further away. But now, Curry's the one in a little bit of trouble. This is an early game crossbow Nadine. Force field comes out. That is a bad corner to be in. He's still going to get taken down. Nice monkey wire from Curry. Is Xenophine going to live? Absolutely not. Wonderfully done there from Team Saber. A slow push into pressure for both of these Bruiser melee frontliners.
Yeah, Curry playing that phenomenally, and I mean, eventually Satan is going to be able to regroup after the White Lily if the fight goes on too long, and I mean, at that point it still is a 2v3 no matter how you slice it, so yeah, well played.
Team High in the meanwhile, losing 2 members. Theo is gone, the Shukai is gone. ERM is still alive. How many kills do we have right now on the board? We got 3, 6, 8, 12, 0, so 12, 17. 17 kills by day number 2. I have definitely seen higher, but this is a definite change of pace compared to yesterday's set of games in the group stages.
I think this is a record high for this weekend so far. We'll have to keep tabs on the early game kill counts before Battle Zone starts to see if we can top 17, but I think this might be the highest we see all weekend, or at least what we've seen so far.
See if Team Asher and Team Auto Arms decide to give something.
Cinema's posturing on this White Lily, yeah, and he's gonna take it. He's gonna find the Quake on a G-Work. Rapier skill still available to try and re-engage in the backside. Pied gonna get frozen and brought down here. And yeah, Auto Arms gonna find a clean little 1-0 in the battle zone and be able to clean up the rest later on.
That was definitely a miscommunication. In the initiation timings were a little bit off. Curry on the backside, Striking Tiger is good on towards Santen, but he takes a whole lot of damage. Grenade Launcher is going to lock that down. KCW is taken pretty low. There is no quick spin in the world that'll get you out of that situation. Pubba will also get taken down too. It looks so good, but they all initiated and used their critical skills on each individual different characters. Nobody locked one person down enough to actually get the kills. So really unfortunate for DHC&J, but here we go. Team looking for an angle opportunity onto Team Auto Arms. The parry comes out from JCP. He's trying to stay alive, but look at this. Third party coming in. Team does end up knocking down. Oh, actually, no, not knocking down, but G is the one to get knocked down. Kachi trying to run away because the rest of his team is already down on the ground. At least on the bright side, Chapel is their playing field.
Yeah, it looked a little scary for Auto Arms for a second there. It almost looked like they were going to get themselves kind of sandwiched if they weren't able to keep pushing through. But they managed to pushing through just fine. But also in Hotel, we have another fight potentially starting here. Sebi pushing forward. He doesn't quite have enough meter to dash in just yet. Now he does. He's going, yeah, there we go. He dashes in, finds his way into the backside, but he's actually getting focused down a bit here. Half his health already gone. Oh, Blast with Cannon, is it going to be enough here? Oh, the damage from the backside is so much. Bear pumping out so much. Oh my goodness. But Team High managing to stay alive, this Theodore managing to stay up and provide healing for his team to make sure they don't go down from the Adriana AoE.
Fortunately, Ghostfire is going to be the one to knock down Curry. Dean is still alive on the back line. Team Dayton Cybers, with this Felix and the Yadina on hand, will be able to win out a fight up against Team Saber. But you're right, I think in the fight in Hotel, Sebi got a little bit overzealous. You have Asua, she cannot jump walls. Adriana, same thing as well. If she wants to jump walls, she has to invest her mobility skill, and I don't think you want to be doing that as an Adriana, especially in the earlier stages of the fight, when you have something like an ERM and a Theodore on the backside. So a bit of an overzealous fight taken by Sebi, but since it was a Night 2 death, not that big of a punishment, they are all alive, and now you have to start looking for fights a little bit more diligently, as all of these teams will have to start investing credits if you want to bring anybody back starting from now on.
Yeah, and it's so important to recognize when your your non-wall jumping character is trapped behind the wall. I know that feeling all too well, and it feels horrible. So, frontliners at home, please watch for your teammates and where they're positioned. It's very important, as it was just displayed there. Auto Arms finding their way to, I believe, Sadhan just picked up a Meteor and also just got Alexander's, so he's going to be kind of huge here. Yeah, he's got the Moonstone coming in, so that's also probably going to be a Spectre going over to him. Yeah, so he just got 2 transitions kind of instantly here during day 3, so Sadhan spiking in damage.
Same thing for a lot of other teams. Day 3 is pretty crucial when it comes to some of these objectives. G just going to be going in. Quick Cut has already been invested. Isana sitting on the back line. He has the Monkey Wire in case he needs to get out, but the damage coming from the Adriana is absolutely insane. We're actually seeing Kachu doing quite a little bit on the backside as well, but Xenophine is still alive. Isana in a whole heap of trouble, and the third party comes in. There's the snipe down from Team Saber. 1 and the 2 goes down. Blanche, their health bars are a little bit low, does not want to get third partied at all. The information is there, but in the end, it's Team that suffers for it.
And yeah, now is going to have to find the revive. And Saber's going to see that this revive's happening. They know it's Team They're running right up there to try and corner them. I mean, they're trapped in red here. This is a lot of timer they're going to have to invest. And yeah, it looks like Team Saber is kind of aware that they're burning timer to get through here. They're running southward to try and cut them off here. Maybe meet them at Lumi. We'll see what Team Saber decides to do. No, it looks like they're just going to farm it out and not try to pressure any further in towards school. I mean, it's a little difficult. They lack a lot of information regarding on who or what could be residing in school. They don't want to get third party trying to push into an area that they don't have any information on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Team has to change their game plan right now. This is the second game in a row, and we're only on game 2, where they've taken 2 members falling down at the start of day number 3, which is extremely brutal for you to deal with. Bear getting corralled into a corner. He's already going to get taken down, which means minus 250 going into the hands of Team Blanche. Sebi is in a little bit of trouble, but that is an Ekion. He's going to be completely fine. G stuck in the middle of nowhere. Blaster, he's got the energy blast field to get himself on out. Healing goes in for Hikasi. He's still alive. Wolf Assault has been invested by Isana, so that's not going to be available for him anytime soon. Kachu getting completely assassinated. Kyungkwe with a beautiful cat punch to lock down that Laura. And Isana now in a whole heap of trouble. I do not believe, especially with that pot landing on towards this Nadine. Ooh, she barely gets out. The Soul Stealer, the IREM, she's coming, but the Monkey Wire is there. This IREM does not want to let up. Holy crap, look at how far they are chasing that down. There's the knock up into the air. The cat punch damage is nuts. And G has to just watch as their Nadim falls into oblivion, walking straight into Team Saber. But they hear the crafting. Gonna play it a little bit safe, but G just stranded now. Team minus 1,000 already by night number 3.
That's 2 VF bloods potentially, you know. It definitely hurts. It looks like Xenophine is gonna get himself picked off here down on the south side of Warehouse. I mean, they're still trying to find this revive on a bear, and it looks like they are gonna find it up in Temple in red here. But touching back on that fight, I mean, Team High is one of these teams that you can't let the fight extend as long as it was. The initial engagement was looking good for but they didn't down anybody, and they found a way to disengage. And when you have something, oh my goodness, and that is going to be pure devastation. Oh, hold, KCW goes down. Cody is unchecked, and he's pumping out a lot of damage on the return here, and he's dodging out on a lot of Bao Bao's skills, if not all of them. This is going to be a quick little 1-for-1, and we might see a 2-on-2 repeat fight happen in just a second here, as Bao Bao is going in towards the revives with another team funneling in towards them. Yeah, Blanche is here. They're aware of what's going on here. They saw the revive just happen, and man, It looks like Saber's going to be the
Oh!
sole losing team out on this. Yeah, they're going to see Daejong Cybers here. Daejong Cybers is going to see that they are S2. The Soul Stealer's going to come out. They are going to try and disengage here. Maybe find the revives up in archery range. They have to find somewhere to get this off. DHC and J, I believe that drone just barely got Douchey Man. So they're aware that this team's up here, but yeah, they're just going to kind of hang out in gas station. But yeah, touching back on that 5 fight versus the fight went on a little too long, and when you have things like Jukai Theodore that can just pump out so much healing between the two of them, it's hard to try and chase down a team like that when Theodore's providing so much healing to both of them, when Jukai's able to provide a ton of single target healing to a single low target as well. It's difficult to try and take an extended fight against this team. But Blanche trying to push in towards school, but Daejong Cyber saying no, get the heck back into the hotel.
You got a little bit close there.
Yeah, we got
a little bit close there, but you saved it. You saved it. We're a family-friendly channel.
Family-friendly, yeah.
I think I don't know what happens on the North American side nowadays, but at least on when you wake up at 5 in the morning,
we just be getting wild over there. It's
Crease
nighttime.
in the chat, everybody.
Hey, don't do that. Hey, come on.
Listen,
PG.
I get that you need your morning sleep, Mr. Old Man, but keep you're here at ERM, okay? You gotta wake up.
Yeah, we are, we were raised by an herbs playing family, so we will keep it family friendly. Down on the south side of school, Daejong Cybers and Asher looking to contest Wickline. I mean, I think this is the first time I've seen Wickline be contested this ERM. It seems like everyone just gets it for free, and yeah, we have Team High also on the tail end of things. Daejong Cyber is just gonna pull it into Research Center actually and try to take this, but Hikasi is aware of what's going on, tries to walk it off to steal it, but they're not.
Oh my
god! Asher with the fat flank. Daejong Cyber is just completely cornered here. A blink? That is the hugest blink I've ever seen. I didn't even know that was possible.
I've never seen anyone try it.
Would be bonking his head there, but no, the blink is actually able to cross that wall. Wow, okay, you learn something new every day. I've never tried to blink that wall, but I would just figure it's too large. Wow, okay, Daejong Cyber is getting away with the Wickline. It looks like the items were picked up by High, though?
Rose did, right? 4, 3, 2...
Soul Stealer?
Oh, just barely, but Team Asher is here. Dina is about to join the party, but there is nowhere that Team Daejong Cybers can go and leave, but Team Asher sees the Wick buff and says, okay, not yet. They should know that Team Daejong Cybers is very low on timer because there's the one that third-partied in at Research Center.
Yeah.
How did nobody die from all of that?
One did. Know. One person died and Wickline was killed, and that was all that happened with the wacky position that we were in the corner of Research Center. Like, I don't know how Daejong Cybers isn't wiped. I mean, I do know, because Blink can apparently go over that wall, but wow, that was incredible.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if Daejong Cybers knew that wall can be Blink, because whoever even attempts in the right mind to Blink over that wall in an actual game, I think they did it because they were in that desperate of a situation, and it actually worked out. Because you saw Dina do it, but Revolu, he was hesitant on it until he saw it. It's like, wait, it works.
They were like,
it's like, wait. So cool thing, you
see
learned
it in
something.
The player movement, the body language of Revolu was just
wait.
Can I do this? Oh, okay.
Like, no, wait.
Cinema finding a quick little freeze onto the front line. This is a pure front to back fight. The Force Field also go. Oh my goodness! But the return damage is just not enough here. Auto Arms is just going to find a clean little 2-0 fight against
There's
Asher.
the benefit of two-handed sword, by the way. This time JCP is on the two-handed sword, so he parried the checkmate, guys. That is the beauty of running something like the two-handed sword. And look at that! Chained Nightmare! No Almas here today. No Durando. We're going for Chained Nightmare.
That item, I always thought that item was a nightmare to build. Everyone who plays two-handed Fiora always talks up Almas and how valuable the slow is and towards connecting all of your abilities more consistently. But, if there's anybody who's going to connect their abilities without needing a slow, it's going to be JCP.
True. And then I will say, he's found out and he's completely isolated. The blink is going to be invested. 20 seconds left on his timer, but there is a camera inside of the bush and KCW doesn't even know it.
Yeah, so Chol knows KCW's there, and
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Daedric Cybers are gonna find Chol just sitting in the corner here. Oh, he's only got 5 seconds timer. He's got to find someone to die to, because dying out here is not gonna be how he wants to go out. Yeah, he blink invested to just barely keep himself alive at 1 second.
Oh my god, dude! This is actually a horror game now for Char. For what is it? Is it Char or is it? Yeah, it is. He has absolutely nowhere to run. It's night number 5. He has no credits, whatever to speak of. Team Blanche, they gotta be a little bit careful about this. They don't know about DHCNJ. They do this all the freaking time. Teams, they have to know about this, right? Recon drones save lives. You even have an Adriana to check bushes like this. Luckily, they're going to walk away from it, pushing Team High further and further into the depths of school. Control over the console is going to go over towards Team Blanche. They don't really have too many credits to call anything right now. Maybe a meteorite or tree, or maybe even a tactical skill if they want to go for it. And it will be called. It will be a meteorite picked up for Team Blanche. Maybe we'll see something getting built out of that. Everybody else, though, playing very, very carefully. It is day number 6. We do have our 2 temporary zones. One is school, and the other one is going to be stream. Teams that are in stream, they're locked in. No hyperloops on out of here.
Yeah, and the fight's already breaking out, and I believe this is Pond, actually, but yeah, the hull attack stat is going to come out and save Magnani while simultaneously providing a shield to Revolut, or maybe use it on Dina there, but the fight disengaged completely. Health advantage going over Daejong Cybers. I mean, Revolut's posturing. He really wants to find a re-engagement before these rests come through and before JCP can heal up too much. Meanwhile, over in school, we have High running through the building. Okay.
God.
Oh, wow. AutoArm's getting completely pushed out of Pond here. I mean, this is such a hard corridor to push through versus an Adina, especially when you have such a short-range team like AutoArms does. We'll have to see if JCP can find a way in. I mean, he doesn't have access to the Rapier skill this time, so access to the backline is going to be that much harder for him. But, meanwhile, on the top side of things, Phil is just here.
Oh, Jordan's keep making, dude.
But the fight continues. The freeze finding its way over to Dina. Magnani getting brought super low. Revolut trying to push forward on the return side of things. Is going to get frozen and locked down. Is he going to get killed? No. JCP is actually going to be the one who goes down. Cinema follows suit. Sadhan trying to do what he can. Finds 1 kill. Can he find more? He's trying to do what he can, but he's not able to do enough. Revolut and Dina cleaning up the rest of that fight. Meanwhile, over in school, all hell is breaking loose as we have 2 fights simultaneously going on. One in the gymnasium with Sebi versus Bao Bao still going on. Meanwhile, Saber is getting the better of Team High here, but Blaster's still alive on the tail end of things, and Saber is getting really low. Everyone on Team Saber is low, and their timers are getting even lower. Are they able to find the kill into Hikasi? No. The head pop hits Curry, and now Satan is the last remaining player alive of Team Saber. And that's just not going to be enough. But now Sebi comes in. Hold on 1 second. Because they've been out so long, everyone's popping. What just happened in school? Team High coming out on top. I mean, they're getting all these credits from all these corpses. I mean, if anyone isn't full build on Team High, then they're going to be from here. They have also that remote drone calling in, so they can just call in peacefully. They don't have to run to the south side of school. They can get it done immediately and not sacrifice too much time into posturing in this final zone as well. So, yeah, it looks like everyone is full build here on the side of Team High. Magnani still missing 2 items, but, you know, it's on the front line. Frontline lives matter too, but not as much as the backline lives. They're the ones who get the transitions, because damage is everything in towards taking somebody down. Dina is going to spot them out onto the top side here, getting a little bit of poke down onto Youngkwe. But now the fight is going to begin. I think this is a little overzealous from Magnani here. He gets chucked out a little bit, but both of these teams have access to being able to heal while in combat. So Magnani is going to get healed by some stars here, if that is what's going to happen.
On Revolut, he's got to get the flank onto Blaster. There is no energy blast field in this situation. That's a really good Tempest Hydra. Knock up over onto the Theo. He's not even going to be able to get onto a wall. Crash land with the heli-tac stat is going to knock down Blaster. What a beautiful fight taken from Revolut. His angles were absolutely perfect. GG's, well played. 9 kills for Dead on Cybers. They'll take first place in game number 2. GG's.
That was a crazy angle to go for. It almost looked a little ambitious, but the posturing of his teammates was perfect. They were ready and in position for him to take an angle like that. Yeah, well played by Team Daejong Cybers.
Yeah, exactly what you want to see from a Felix. I love the angle that he was trying to take. You know for sure, especially with the Theo Energy Blast Field gone, he's not really going to have any easy ways to escape. And I think, if anything, Team High should have known about that and played it much more safer. Their win condition is going to be the Theo blasting away with the Energy Blast Field adrenaline boost, but they didn't play off of it. They used it, they invested it, but still were trying to vie for a little bit of spacing. The only problem with the fire station and final zone, though, is that if you're exiting towards the north side, there's a lot of thin corridors. A Felix with Blink and Tempest Hydra will abuse the heck out of immobile backliners like that, and that is exactly what just happened.
Yeah, and you have things like Dina as well that can also benefit heavily off of teams getting corralled into that tight corridor as you're speaking. I mean, even just the entrance into the north side is a little on the tight side, and then when you go east from there, you have that super tight corridor covered by the van, and that's exactly where they went, and that's exactly what they abused.
Love to see it, love to see it. In the end, it is going to be a really, really solid game coming through from the members of, what is it, Team Saber, I think it was. And this should get them a decent amount of points. I don't know if it's going to necessarily close the gap between the points a little bit too much, because even if Team Blanche died without making it all the way to first and second, they did pick up a couple additional kills inside of school. I wasn't keeping track of how many kills they had across the board, but Auto Arms also struggled a little bit in this game too. So score sheet after game number 2 is still going to be up in the air. I'm not entirely sure what it is going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, everything kind of went everywhere for kills. I mean, a lot of these, almost all of these teams actually picked up a ton of kills this game. I mean, a lot of multiple teams crossing around, from the 7 to double-digit mark of kills. Yeah, we'll have to see where this ends up going. I mean, Daejong Cyber's got a lot of kills, if I remember, as well.
I think the replays are going to be a little bit chaotic when it actually does end up happening. By the way, I don't know if you knew about this, but when Pubbo was walking down from the gymnasium down into the temporary zone in school, he died to a Nadine. I don't know if you knew about that. I think it was a kill beyond the grave for either Inasa or it might have been somebody else that was playing the Nadine. I think Bubba, to not get -1, he intentionally stepped on a squirrel trap.
Huh. Yeah, that would make sense. That's actually really smart. Huh. Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is get -1. You would rather give some team a point than lose your team a point, because, I mean, it's all about racking up more points for your own team and other teams getting more points. I mean, it's fine, really.
You take those, and I think DHC and J has always been one of those teams that, because of how aggressive they play and because of the unorthodox style of gameplay they provide with their composition, right? You're not going to see Dial-In on any other comp. You're not going to see a composition that comprises of Dial-In Emma almost anywhere in Korean competitive outside of DHC and J, just because of the players they roster. The unorthodox style of gameplay really makes it so that they're always prone to at least getting -1 at least once per almost every tournament I've seen these guys continue to play in. So I like the idea of Pova saying, hey, I'd rather just give another team a kill than rather take the -1 that could theoretically screw us over later. The score sheet, especially towards the bottom half of the score sheet, at least past game number 1, was extremely close, and you never know what's going to happen. I like the idea, and maybe it'll pay off in the end. That 1 point difference could go hard in the later stages of the series. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before where that 1 point actually does matter for teams, be it making out of a format or making it through checkpoint. I mean, I've seen a team be 1 point short of checkpoint.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, like, heartbreaking because it's like, oh, man, like...
And then they win that game.
And then they win the game that they're, like, 1 point off from checkpoint from, and you just think back, like, wow, like... If we just didn't have that -1, like, this timeline could have been us winning ERM.
Yeah, and then you go to lose the series.
Yeah, then you go to lose the series after, and it's just like, wow, I could not imagine how that must feel, honestly. It must be just absolutely devastating.
Indeed. But that is not going to be the case. DHC and J saving a little bit of that point kerfuffle. That is good. But in the end, again, it is going to be Team Saber, if I remember correctly, the team that won. good results from them. Even aside from Revolut playing good, I think Dina's positioning was excellent. Magnani, it is a little bit unfortunate that we're not really seeing him sitting on the Suwa anymore. I just loved watching it back in the previous seasons. His always X Factor card pick that he brought out of nowhere to win multiple tournaments in the past. But this time around, he's just going to be on the simple tank duty. I think his positioning has been excellent. He's always been really good at holding his ground as the Estelle, because there is nothing that says just because you bring the shield up as an Estelle, you have to use it to initiate. You can just hold the ground and it soaks up so much pressure coming in from the other teams. You saw it in Pond. Magnani puts a shield up, right clicks, and the rest of the other team just has to back away. It is so funny.
Yeah, it's one of those tools that is just really huge and undervalued on how much damage mitigation it provides and how much it blocks. But we do have our scores coming in here. Wow, Auto Arms is in first stat. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, that is... Well, again, it was really close, right? Across the board, it's been a very, very close series for, I would have to say, the top 3, even post-game number 1. And now it's gotten monumentally closer because Team Auto Arms sitting at 30, going all the way down to 6th place. It's only an 11-point difference that could definitely be made up by a majority of these teams in a heartbeat if they are allowed to do that. So after game number 1, we had a bit of a point disparity. After game number 2, it has gotten significantly closer.
Yeah, and you can see from the kill counts too, from Daejung Cybers all the way to Saber. I mean, Daejung Cybers has 12, Saber has 12. I mean, the only thing separating these two teams are placement points, so it really is anybody's series. Is a little bit behind on points. It is expected. They are, how do you want to phrase this? The rookie team, I suppose, but we'll have to see how they bring things back as we get back from this break.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go on to a break. As Meek said, we'll be back with you guys for games 3 and 4, so go grab a snack, go grab some water, go take a stretch. We'll see you guys back here in a few minutes.
생존자가 사람들에게 행복을 선물하고 싶어. 태어나서 연애해본 적 없으면 마법사가 된다고 하잖아. 마술사는 될 수 있더라고. 마술사 등장! 새 무대를 준비해볼까? 지금 필요한 건 웃음과 마술이야. 동정과 카드 어느 쪽이 좋아? 비비디 바비디 부 말하는 대로 이루어져라. 나에게 필요한 건 실력보다 미소. 어우 좀 이상하니까 표정이 왜 그래? 여기야. 우리 비둘기가 자기가 당신보다 머리 좋을 것 같대. 어떤 카드가 좋아? 널 위해 준비했어. 토끼와 함께. 우리 비둘기가 살려달래. 폭력 반대. 웃어줘.
대부분의 문제는 폭발로 해결돼. 예술은 폭발이야. 터뜨릴 준비는 끝났어. 그냥 터뜨려버리면 안 되나? 기폭시켜줄까? 날려버리는 수가 있어. 발밑을 조심해야지. 이런 건 전자전 지원을 받아야 하는데 퓨즈 관리는 철저하게. 조심해, 폭발하니까. 문제 해결 완료.
일레븐의 결혼식 브이로그. 지금 바로 시작할게. 드레스 어때? 오늘을 위해 특별히 준비했어. 신부 입장. 아직 브이로그 안 끝났다고. 빵빵빵. 받아줄 거지. 와, 케이크가 더 커졌어. 예쁜 추억 많이 만들자. 저기 있어. 청첩장은 안 줬는데. 영원한 사랑을 맹세합니다. 11의 결혼식 브이로그 봐주셔서 감사합니다.
밝은 달 아래 맑은 바람 불어 버들잎은 말없이 그저 흔들리네. 세상에 바람 한 점 없는 곳이 있다고 하더니 이 섬이 바로 그곳인가? 바람을 타고 자유롭게 섭리의 바람 휘몰아쳐라. 길이를 타고 풍류운산. 바람이 길을 열고 구름이 흩어지니 흐르는 대로 흘러가는 대로 종잡을 수 없는 고민이 있는 모양이군. 도사란 무엇인가? 바람을 부리고 구름을 타고 날아 도를 주는 자. 너희들은 도를 믿지 않아도 좋아. 무엇을 믿을진 사람 나름이니까. 이 또한 섭리일지니.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Eternal Return Masters Season 5 Phase 2 Wildcards. It feels like I'm rapping every single time I come back from a break. I hope you guys had, you know what? I'll say a mediocre one, because we still have another break left, so I need a little bit of leeway in terms of what kind of words I can use after this. So I hope you guys had a mediocre one. Later we'll improve it a little bit, but yeah, welcome back, guys. We're gonna just send it straight into game number 3. I guess the production's like, it's a Saturday. I want to go home. I just want to.
Yeah,
sleep.
no, production's definitely feeling a little tired this morning or this night for them. Mediocre break. I hope everyone had a good break and got water, food, all the good stuff. Maybe
You're
say
making
hi
it
to the
harder for
dog.
me in the next break now. What are you doing?
Yes, I am. Now, yeah, you're gonna say, I hope everyone had a excellent break. Or you could just
No, I
keep
can't
going,
use that now either. I gotta come up with something better.
Or you can just, go down your route that you're going, the path you're walking, from mediocre to, I hope you all had a bad break. Like, yeah, no. Let's keep it positive here, Shuvi, because we're in ERM. This game's just starting, and we have the My Band coming back. But the Priya band is not returning. Will we have the Heart band as well? No, it looks like just Maya's band. So things have been shaken up significantly, despite these bands being back unlocked for round 3.
Indeed, I think this lobby is basically a mix of the compositions that we saw in game number 1 and now game number 2. It seems, especially for Saber, they're just not going to go back to their older composition that they ran in game number 1. Same thing for Team High. They're going to flip-flop it around a little bit. Not going for the Mai that, you could actually play in this game. Otherwise, we would have had 5. They're going to stick with the Felix here instead, maybe looking for a little bit more of that burst damage. He is running the healing drone, so do expect a little bit more of that mix between probably something like 1,000-foot spear and then maybe mithril armor? I think that was a little bit of a popular build, the hybrid Felix that gives you a lot of damage, but at the same time it does give you some of that tankiness you need in order to survive. That was usually supplemented with something like either the Bitter Retribution for a bit more of that sustain and the damage reduction on top of the slow, or the healing drone that we are seeing from the Felix this time around too. A lot of mix-ups in this game, but just think of it as a basic combination of what we saw in games 1 and 2. That should be able to summarize it. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 locked and loaded. Let's see which team is able to come out of the intermission on top, especially considering the fact that I don't think we have a single player substitution.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's done anything too unorthodox here. Touching back on the Felix pick as well, I mean, building a little bit of durability when you have something like a Priya alongside you, I mean, defense scales with HP, but it also scales with shielding health, so it's going to make Priya's shielding that much more effective on this Felix, so yeah, I'd like to see definitely a more bruiser-oriented Felix rather than something that's more full damage-oriented.
Game 2 was able to also show us how good a Felix can be with Revolu feeling that and finding some of those small opportunities, so maybe Team High looking for a little bit more of those instead of the Mai. I will definitely admit that that team does need a little bit more consistent damage, more so than just the Tazia and the occasional flowers that Priya tends to bring up, so I do like the Felix pick. It just makes me wonder how close the Priya is going to be able to play, because this is a team that wants to really jump in on the fight, whereas as we know, for the most part, Priya is good at receiving a lot of those fights, so a little bit unorthodox of a composition when you split it up that way, but it is Team High. We know that this team is able to look for those extended fights almost always across the board, but here we go, a team fight beginning yet again in the earlier stages of the game for DHCNJ. This time around it's going to be up against Team Blanche. Echoes of the Earth goes down, that is a lot of investments, but Team DHCNJ running out of steam. They will get taken down by Team Blanche. At least one down for now. Papa hanging around. I don't think he's going to be able to find anything, as the main campfire is going to be controlled by the members of Team Blanche.
Yeah, and Blanche is totally down for fights like that where it's just Fight Club. You saw Pixu try to go in and just, went into Fight Club, got beat up, and tossed back out. Like, he just couldn't contribute more to that fight than what he really needed to. Curdy is going to get brought down by here. Actually finding their way to 2 kills early game. Looks like they might even find a third one here. Magnani kind of hovering and waiting in the wings, trying to maybe see a little third-party angle as Revolu is on the top side and Dina just teleported in as well. And yes, they are going to find this fight against Team Meanwhile, on the other side of things, over in Uptown, Blanche and CNJ are also fighting. Yeah, it looks like KCW is going to get brought down on that side of things. And yeah, CNJ is just going to have to back out.
By the way, there is a reason why Team High is running the Felix. I just noticed this. We did actually have a player substitution coming in. Bin is playing now for Team High. They did end up substituting the Mai player. That's the reason why they didn't stick on that pick. And I hope it's going to work out. I have seen some good results from Team High when they have brought Bin in, but I've also seen the flip side where all of a sudden the productivity on that team sharply decreases. So I think Team High, they've got to really prove to us here in Game 3 that even for Game number 4, we should be able to see something consistent coming out from this team. Otherwise, it's going to be a hard track for the second third of the games that we have here tonight.
Yeah, and it's almost like a repeat of yesterday with Team I mean, these first 2 games were really rough for them, but right now they're starting to find their stride a little bit and get a bit of a good amount of kills, a good amount of XP going in towards themselves. I'm really happy to see that they're starting to find their stride in this lobby.
Indeed. Alright, here we go though. DHC and J, they definitely haven't found their stride in this lobby. They've been dead for a good chunk of it. For quite brutal. For a team that really strives on that early game lead, they got 0. And if anything, they're the ones that's been stunted. Level 9, 8, and 9 for the 3 players across the board. We do see some 10s in this lobby too. Sawten gonna get completely wiped out. He is isolated. 25 seconds until we do go into day number 2. Sawten's gonna just barely make the cut. I don't think his team is gonna be able to reliably contest for anything though.
Yeah, and it looks like Asher's going to be getting this temple tree for free. Taeyoung trying to maintain these stacks before this objective rotation spawns, just in case somebody comes by. He has full stacks on that Yon, and oh, a freeze coming through on Pixu, and he's going to be forced to blank out and use his Qs to dash further away. Fight still continuing though on the backside. I'm taking a lot of return damage from Bao Bao, and yeah, they actually are going to be able to bring this down to a 2-on-2. Kachu getting brought dangerously low, and this Elaine is just going to skate out and accept that this fight is done for.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice sacrifice, I think, from not Pablo, but Peksu. The striking dagger to lock down the Heart. The Heart thought she was completely safe and didn't even bother putting down the Peacemaker, which means that the dial-in over the wall without any vision was able to snipe that down. There are still objectives across the map right now that are being contested. Beautiful grenade launcher to lock down both Bin as well as Akasi. The damage output from this Tazia and Haze is good. The Paradiso does end up landing down onto the Haze, but G-Work, it's still early game for Blaster. It's a level 1 Paradiso, not that much damage being dealt. That is brutal. Blaster down. Bin now needs to run away, but it's a third-party situation. Priya gets tagged by the Moon, and I think that might be it already for Team High. Down goes the Felix, down goes the Priya, and the substitution just does not work.
This is the earliest we've seen a team wiped all weekend. Oh my god. Team High just getting completely pincered. I mean, it's hard to say if this is more the substitute's fault or more just like a positional error. I mean, they lacked really any sort of vision on what was going on around them before taking that fight, and just it completely bit them in the behind.
For how long the fight went, the amount of lack of information any of those teams had, I think, was pretty crucial. It was just really lucky for, what is it, I think it was Team Asher that, that it was Team High on the short end of the stick. That is also a team that has a very difficult time running away from fights. Everybody but the Mine can't really do it. You talked about this yesterday, but when you have something like a Haze and a Rozzy, this is early in the game where she doesn't have too many cooldowns. Yeah, if they get flanked, it's a tough world out there.
Yeah, for sure. There's certain characters that, you know, when you get flanked or if you get third-partied, you're more or less just SOL. And, yeah, it's just unfortunate that Team High was on the receiving end of that. It looks like Asher is not going to try and push through. This bush is just a little too hard to get through for this battle zone, so they are going to maintain their position in stream and maybe try to contest over these bears rather than the battle zone. Alpha spawning in Cemetery. Looks like Daejong Cybers will be getting that uncontested. And yeah, it looks like Asher is going to try and get these bears before C&J can triangulate on them. I mean, we see this positioning. Pixu on the flank. Is he going to be able to find his way onto G-Work? No, he's not, but the knockup is going to find its way onto this KCW. The quick spin, not quite finding its mark. And now, you know, on the backside, Chul is in big danger. The Striking Tiger with the knockup isn't going to be enough. He's just barely alive.
Oh, the auto attack.
Cleans it up at the end with the auto attack enhanced from the oh my goodness. Is Jumo going to go down as well? It looks like he will be able to get out of here. It's hard to say. I mean, Emma's chasing capabilities are quite good in the catwalk. Cooldown for what?
Telephoto.
Oh my god. Jumo has a Samadhi fire on him. I did not realize. He is going to lose this Samadhi Fire in just a second here. Yes, he does go down, so that will be a Samadhi Fire getting yoinky spoinkied over to the side of DHC and J.
But no one can use it on that team unless, I guess, Pegsu wants to go for Mark of the Phoenix. I don't really see any reason why he would do that, but I guess it is what it is. You could go Blood Cloak on the Emma, but I don't really know if an Emma nowadays wants to go Blood Cloak. Unfortunate for that team, they do end up losing the Samadhi Fire, but I guess on the bright side, they are keeping their lives intact. That could have gone really bad for Team Asher, especially how good of an angle DHC and J was able to find it. So nicely done.
Yeah, the craft was just such a spiteful craft. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to craft this in front of your face, and you're not going to do anything about it, and now you don't get a tree. So, a little bit of a denial of RNG as well, because I really don't see how this team will use a... yeah,
Wait.
I don't see how they will use a Samadhi Fire effectively.
Wait, I'm seeing in chat, I guess I guessed wrong. It wasn't the telephotos that the Mai was crafting, but they crafted the tree up into Samadhi Fire? So the other team couldn't use it?
Yeah,
Is that actually... Okay, I might have to go back and look at that later. I'll check it. Remind me after this game.
I believe that's what happened. I
No
believe that's what
shot.
happened.
Actually,
Yeah,
let me
he
check
crafted
this now.
Samadhi Fire.
That's crazy. That is actually got to be one of the biggest trolls I've seen in my life. Oh my god, they did!
I told you, look at the craft. Look at watch
God!
it. Yeah, right in the front of their faces. He does not care. It's so good. But more fights breaking out. Auto Arms on the run from Blanche. Meanwhile, over in Alley, the boxing test between Asher and Saber is going to go into the favor of Asher. Auto Arms still on the run, though. This White Lily is going to get them to safety. But, I mean, I'm only left to wonder if the chase still goes on.
On the south side, though, a
And
fight
it
between
does.
Auto Arms and Team Blanche. Taken getting taken dangerously low. He's about at a quarter of his HP. The rest of his team, though, not really there to support at all. He's just kind of leaving him out to dry. Everybody else on Team Auto Arms splitting away. Sad Hand maybe was trying to craft something. This is a really awkward situation, though. Senephine gonna be able to run away from the catwalk, but there is the lockdown over on towards Arazi. She is absolutely dead to rights. Goodbye, my friend. Revolu versus Sebi. It is a Debbie and Marley mirror match. I never thought I'd say that in ERM, but here we are. Everybody just walks away, though.
Yeah, I mean, this character's stocks are rising steadily this ERM. I mean, we went from not seeing it really at all yesterday to now having two of them in a lobby, one off from a ban. So, yeah, pretty crazy.
It's fun, though. I like seeing this, and I wonder if both of them are running False Oath, because I know there is an option where you can run the Force Field on her. Not entirely sure. I'll have to keep track of that later down the road.
Yeah, we see a lot of variety coming out from Debbie and Marlene as far as what you run, what needs to be done. But Asher finding the top on the Douchey Man. Douchey Man getting brought super low, forced to use the Hell Attack stat on himself, but the return damage is huge. Now, Satin and Curry stepping up. G-Work kind of isolated on his own off to the side, forced to use the Blink and the Shotgun to get out. The Rockets, are they going to connect too? 3, can we see the Rocket? Oh, just barely dashing out of range of the Rocket. G-Work with the moves.
SMG was so good to get out. Oh my god, the cooldown timings are just on point. I think I saw somebody on Team Saber sitting with a flare gun, if I'm not
Mistaken.
remembering it correctly. Oh, that could be a red item.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a red item. It might just be your figment of imagination. I guess we'll never know. But Auto Arms getting another call-in off this Force Core, going over to this Mai. Another Aoyai coming online. Yeah, so that's going to go over to the side of Sadhan. Meanwhile, over at Alpha, Team here, or not Alpha, I'm sorry, Omega. Team here alone, picking up this Force Core. So, nice little scoop by them.
They are getting kills this
And,
time around. They're on 6
yeah.
already.
Yeah, see, I told you, they're finding their stride. They're getting online here. They're slow starters, okay? But once they get going, once the engine's revved, these guys start popping off. I mean, we're still, 4 games out till the end of this. Anything can happen on this scoreboard.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they're already getting started now. We saw yesterday that once their engines do get revving, it is absolutely a game that they can win. And the fact that we're seeing it in game number 3 does signify good news. You are absolutely correct. Once you start doing it in games 5 and 6, that's where in a 6-game series, the point disparity becomes a little bit too much that no matter how good of games you have, for the most part, it is almost irreparable damage at that point. Game 3, starting it out like this, is definitely a good start, especially considering that one of their counter opponents of Team High, who is also in the bottom 4, is already eliminated. I would say Team is off to a great footing in Game 3.
Opera Mask. Opera Mask is always one of those weird ones to pick up. It does look like it's going to go over to Taegyung. Yeah, this is probably a fine transition for him. He was already slotting CDR in his head, so he stays capped off here with it. So, yeah, nothing too awkward here. Looks like a purple box is going to go over to Isana here. A little tack skill action for him. Ooh, C&J getting a little devilish in the bush. Asher is going to spot them out, though. So they are just going to back out into Cemetery. I believe they have vision of this zone. I'm not entirely sure, but if they don't, they're definitely going to scoop it up now.
Should be going for a bit more of that information caliber. Players across the board, especially at this stage of the game, you need that information. You really do.
Yeah. And Cemetery TVs cover so much ground. They cover pretty much all the entrances of Cemetery at this point, with Factory not being available anymore. So, yeah, they really can't get flanked or have any unexpected visitors in Cemetery while they control it. So, perfect zone to kind of reside in and just bide your time waiting for more opportunities. Blanche pushing into Chapel, my fault. But KCW kind of posturing in the bush, looking. Looks like Babo's on the top side. There are a little split off here. We'll see if Pixu's able to just get out of here. Yeah, Q3's over the wall. The Tetragon coming up from the slope, but KCW is just going to get annihilated. Oh my god, that damage is nuts. And yeah, C&J not really able to find anything for that fight, with KCW just getting locked down by the catwalk and just all the damage following up.
That's a Tom Yan, by the way. He could use this quick spin if the timing on the crowd control is even remotely off. But the crowd control stacking was perfect. We do see Sebi. We saw him earlier building up the Durandal. I believe it's a Crimson upgrade as well this time instead of the Dawn. Quite interesting. We're actually seeing a mix of both coming through from Sebi. So he is adept at using both of those transition opportunities. Here we go.
Ooh,
Team Asher, yep, three-way sandwich. Not going to happen. Everybody just walks away. 19 seconds left for some of the members on Team They're going to have to find their way into Cemetery in just a moment. But I do believe Wick is spawning in Fire Station, just looking at the arrow.
Oh, wow.
Probably?
That is, yeah, I believe you're correct with that. And with it being at Fire Station, all these teams being down here, it looks like the only ones contesting are going to be Saber and Auto Arms. Satin looking to establish some poke before this Wick line spawns so they can maybe get it for free. One of the rockets connecting. The poke is still pretty good with it only being one rocket. And it's such a short cooldown, too, that they can just kind of wait out at Wick line, wait for more opportunities, and keep poking away with this Nadine and Hayes. And yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're just kind of posturing and zoning Auto Arms off from this Wick line. But Wick line's pathing is very janky. She just decided to turn around and run in towards Auto Arms. So that's really good for Auto Arms. So now Saber's forced to kind of take the aggression of Wick line here while trying to establish poke.
Seems like Team Auto Arms still trying to play it around. Now Taegyung gets caught out by the little AoE spear from the Wick line. Cinema trying to find a flank on towards the backside, but the zone control is coming in perfectly from Team Saber. Nice heli tech stack to save Sata, and Sadhan gets eliminated on the backside. Cinema now trying to run away. Curry not going to overchase it because they have the big Wick line right behind them, looking for the map control, looking for the end game control over, greeting for maybe one single additional kill. They're playing for the long run, but here we go. A fight again inside a Cemetery, continuing on from what we just saw, but the freezes, the move was so good, but in the end it's going to be Isana to pull it back in. The Heart was able to lock down the damage, and it's going to be Team now sitting on 9 kills. They just wiped out the members of Team Taejon Cybers.
That looked dangerous for Team for a second there, but Isana completely unchecked at the end of the fight and just yeah, cleans it up nice and cleanly. Like, the freezes were absolutely huge from G as well. I mean, just really well played in general. But meanwhile, over in Temple, I mean, we have Auto Arms and C&J spot kind of posturing around each other. Cinema sees that they're kind of split off and maybe kind of wants to find an angle onto KCW here while this split is going on. I mean, we also have Taegyung on those full stacks for his passive, so they definitely would love to fight with that kind of advantage. And yeah, it looks like they're going to go onto the top side to try and lock down Pixu. Pixu is going to barely get out here. The Tetragon coming down. The bear stun as well.
No.
Oh my god, Taegyung is just soloing him on the backside. And the meanwhile, the 2v2 hadn't dealt too badly for Auto Arms, so they are going to win out on this fight off of the play of Taegyung.
Taekyung is so good at predicting what anyone else is going to do. This is one of the reasons why he's been so good at prepping fights for the rest of his team. Ever since the days of Always Incheon, he was able to set things up for Luminal. That is the one thing that I always praised him on doing, and he continues to do it to this day. Pixu, he tried everything with his arsenal to try to get out, but Taekyung was there to stop it. It's like Striking Tiger, he blocks it with his own body. He's trying to use his spirited kicks? No, he just blocks it with his body too. He's so good at predicting things, man. It is insane to know how young this player is.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just phenomenally played. That was Taekyung the fight. Like, he was the man to watch that whole fight. He just man-moded in the back, honestly, and was just, but you know, the misposition from C&J, you know, KCW trying to look for like some sort of flank angle, and I thought for sure that Cinema would go for the catwalk on him and they'd focus him down, but no, they actually pushed forward into a 3v2 to get Pixu down. Really well played.
Absolutely. Inside upon though, Team Saber as well as Team Blanche trying to get control over this specific area. One of our two final zones, I believe, that is going to be contested over. Trying to get prize possessions. It is Sting Corridor, so I think eventually Team Blanche is going to have to brute force it before this haze gets a little bit too much control. But it is, again, tight quarters. You have a Nadine, Squirrel Trap in a really, really nice spot. Saten breaking out the rocket launchers. Here we go though. That is a beautiful taunt coming in. Twins Rush over onto Saten. Nothing really being done. Exclusive is going to be forced out. That's a lot of ultimates invested from both of the teams. Wolf of Soda has also been activated, but the damage is there. Down goes the Estelle. Team Blanche, they are doing it right now. Down, double knockup. Oh, Sebi! Sebi is so good. Executed down into oblivion. Team Saber is gone.
And I wanted to say, it looked like Team Blanche was kind of posturing for Douchey Man to kind of position a little off or maybe shield charge in, because they were not really looking for a hard engage, but they found an angle to kill Douchey Man, and then just from there the dominoes just falling apart. But now Asher going to finish off Bao Bao here, so that will be C&J going out with 4 kills here. And yeah, it looks like we're gonna have Asher versus Auto Arms again.
That's gracious. And
Again?
we're seeing Team
Is that
Blanche
right?
as the
Yeah.
last team we get to. This is literally just
Whoa.
game 1, dude.
That's Cinema looking for a little white lily play here. And yeah, look at Taekyung. He's kind of looking at G-Work here. G-Work forced to blink out before he gets haunted by the catwalk, recognizing the danger. And yeah, it looks like Cinema is just too far forward here. Is going to get brought down without any sort of response. Great
1v3,
blink by
1v3.
G-Work. Oh, Taekyung, oh, he just barely misses the knockup, but he dodges out on the catwalk. Oh, what is going on here? Okay, Asher manages to clean it up, but Sadhan not really able to follow up on what Taekyung was doing there with Cinema dead already.
That is quite brutal, because in the end, this time around, Sadham wasn't able to get the 1v3 because he was corralled into a corner, and the damage control from Asher was absolutely on point. I love the initiation. They let the the enemy Mai go a little bit too far. She didn't even have a chance to use her exclusive because the catwalk came through from their own Mai and used that time to actually assassinate people that they really needed to get done. Nicely done from Team Asher, but now Team Blanche, they're going to have to stand up against this. We have a Haze once again. We have a Rozzy this time around that can definitely deal a little bit better with this Debbie and Marlene if she really chooses to do so. Knock up onto Jumo, not going to land. G-Work trying to vie for a little bit more control with these rocket launchers and grenade launchers. Damage just isn't landing from either one of these teams though. Cooldowns for Team Blanche, all back up. Team Asher, the exact same thing. Rocket launcher 1 does land, 2 will miss, 3 is going to go wide, and 4 will go into a shielded up Priya. Not that bad, but here we go. Jumo looking for an opportunity. He does get one. Echoes of the Earth is going to go down. There it is. And the totem comes through. And it lands on everybody. Down goes G-Work. Jumo taken down so dangerously low. Team Blanche is just immaculate. How good they are at this game. Bear goes in, but it doesn't matter. There are so many health bars that are just continuing to rain down onto the members of Team Asher. And that's going to do it, everybody. Game 3 goes into the hands of Team Blanche. 18 kills on hand eventually as Char. I don't think you're doing it this time, buddy.
Man, I mean, the catwalk landing on the Xenophine, I thought for sure Xenophine was going to get blown up there, but no. The exclusive coupled with the totem and the Echoes of the Earth, just like everything was way too much, and by that point, they all funneled onto Xenophine, and they weren't able to take him down, so, you know, everybody's getting hit by Echoes of the Earth, and that kind of fight is just devastating.
It is amazing how they were able to do this, and there we go, 2 games in a row with the Maya on hand. Team Blanche, this time with, I believe it was 18 field kills. Let us see.
Yes.
Indeed, it was 18 field kills. Taking away first place again, this is going to cement their place in the top 4 so much more after game number 3. But, again, in game number 4, we're not going to be able to see this exact comp because Maya will be banned for that one.
Yeah, it just feels like no matter who you focus on this team, I mean, Sebi's so durable, and if you don't focus someone that isn't Xenophine, it just feels like it's hopeless. But right there, we saw them try to blow up Xenophine. They landed the catwalk. The full burst combo from Haze was brought out immediately to follow up during the taunt duration, but it just wasn't enough to kill Xenophine. It just didn't go down, and you can't really focus Maya or W Marlene down either. So it's just this team is really hard to kill in this lobby.
Again, I think it was also Team Asher. Now, this is very, 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 very slight, but it did make a difference where not everybody was on the same page by maybe
Yeah.
like half a second of the initiation when they all jumped in onto Xenophine. The Priya should have rightfully died. The crowd control rotation, in my opinion, was actually pretty decent, but the damage wasn't there to knock her down while she was in that crowd control. That Priya should not have been alive for any longer than maybe half a second, assuming everybody jumped on her at once. And starting from there, the fight would have definitely devolved into a little bit of a problem for Team Blanche. But Xenophine stayed alive, wasn't even forced to use the totem, by the way. She just popped the Echoes of the Earth and walked.
Yeah.
That should
wait,
not
she didn't even
happen.
use totem? What?
Yeah, I don't
Oh
think
my
she
God.
did.
Okay.
She procced the
Okay,
Echoes of
wow.
the Earth. Everybody on Team Asher got hit by it, and Xenophine just walked on out of there.
Yeah, because I saw the exclusive was used to pull Xenophine in, and then the Echoes of the Earth went down, but I didn't realize she didn't totem at all. What
don't
the
think
heck?
she did,
Okay,
but yeah.
huh, that's interesting. But yeah, I thought one of the weaknesses that this team might have is getting poked out, but this Priya character, man, every time some poke tries to get laid down, the shields are on deck, and it's just like, you can't poke them out if they're shielded.
Yeah, and another thing on top of that too is that the flowers on the ground give Debbie and Marlene bonus movement speed. A lot of times when you're duking it out up against Debbie and Marlene, especially as a backline, you usually want to try to keep your distance from her, and you have a fair idea of how much range you need to have against her to not get knocked up by her Q. When you have bonus movement speed this late into the game from a Priya, that range becomes shortened a lot more. It is very difficult to run away from a Debbie and Marlene that has the jump on you, as I mentioned earlier. She's probably going to be getting that with those flowers from the Priya. So, let's take a look at the scores. Blanche has hit 55, so if this was finals, they hit checkpoint.
Yeah, wow.
But it's
That
not,
would be
so.
incredible. Checkpoint after 3 games, and then you just win in 4 games, and then we go home, and everybody's happy, and wow, that's totally going to happen tomorrow. But second place, we have Auto Arms. Third place, we have Asher. 3 points splitting apart from each other. Another 6 points down from that, we have Dejong Cybers, and that's where things get really close, because DHC and J is just behind them with 1 point. And High is just trailing behind them, so really in these top 6, any of these teams could climb up into the top 4 very easily. Even Saber and aren't really far out of it, so with still, a long ways away from seeing who makes it in, who makes it out.
Indeed. We'll see what ends up happening in game number 4. I think game 3 was definitely a solid start to see what kind of changes or even combinations from games 1 and 2 is going to result in. But game 4, with just the Mai out, we should see a little bit more akin to what we saw maybe in game number 2. Priya is going to be readily available, but the teams that have been playing it outside of Team High, they kind of require the Mai. So I highly doubt that even something like Team Blanche is going to be running it. They might just go back to the old comp they ran in Game 2, where it was the Adriana, Ekion, and Sua. Team High, they'll probably end up sticking with what they had, unless they think that it's just not working. They've had a long time to talk about it after game number 3, since they went out super early into the game. They do end up sticking with the Priya. I think it just comes down to a lot more information. Right, we talked about it in this game too. They died because they just didn't have information on the flank. Got corralled, got sandwiched, all taken out.
Yeah, we really didn't get to witness what they were cooking up with that composition, so it wouldn't be any surprise to see them busted out back again. I mean, none of the characters they were running were banned, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But with the My Ban coming through, we'll have to see what changes, because last time we had bans, it was Mai, Heart, and Priya all simultaneously. Now we just have Mai, so we'll see how that changes these compositions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always going to be those situations where either tanks start flying in or the compositions start completely flip-flopping around. We saw it in game number 2. I would hope for the latter just because I want to see more compositions that these teams are able to bolster. But now that Priya and Heart is available, we might get a little bit of a mix of that too if teams opt to go for it. In the end, it does seem like survivability is a big factor for some of the character selections. Like, Mai, we have the exclusive. Heart, we have the
Yeah.
Peacemaker. Adina, well, Dina isn't a Dina main, but I'll count her too. The stars are definitely something that does keep all of your players alive. So survival is a really big factor in some of the character selections that are going to be coming through Meek. So let's take a look at what is going to be selected in game number 4, because here we are in the character selection screen.
Yeah, C and J sticking to their guns. I mean, I don't see them ever switching comps unless Jan gets banned. And it looks like Auto Arms is actually gonna pull a Mira and Sejong here and run this Debbie Marlene Priya combination, but with Sadhan going over to Rio. So that's gonna be a big change of pace for them. Blanche is going back to their trademark secondary comp here with the Adriana Ekion Sua. Everything else looks pretty standard, nothing standing out. We have the G-Work Adela coming back out on the My ban. Yeah, I'm sticking to their guns. Dejong Cybers. Yeah, okay, everything looks pretty expected here.
I guess nothing too weird. It is just Kasi sitting on the Lennox. Team High did end up completely flip-flopping things around. I love that, by the way. Whatever they've been doing with the Tazi and the Priya just has not been working. And I think with Bin here, you're going to have to keep him anyways for one more game, even if you want to swap him out for games 5 and 6. You might as well actually play alongside that, because Bin's Felix is good. You've seen it in the past where Bin's Felix was able to single-handedly turn fights. So I love the fact that you're sending Blaster now on the Theo that can assist on the Felix getting position without having to invest too much from his kit, and then the Lennox to support him up in the front lines, acting as a big wall that creates a little bit of that space that Felix needs to close the gap.
Yeah, Lennox feels like the perfect pick for this composition. I really like Blaster on Theodore. It really feels like they play a lot better with him on Theodore, playing like a more proper backline rather than something like Tazia where they're more or less all in on every fight. So yeah, I really like this Lennox-Theodore combination. This is something I've always wanted to see more of. We always see Theodore paired with Alonso for, obvious reasons. But, yeah, I really like this comp.
Yes, sir.
And we also, from a change of pace from last game where we had the healing drone Felix, Ben is actually going to be using, I believe it was Adrenaline I saw.
We should be seeing a bit more of a tankier build then. I'm not going to go as so far to say we're going to be seeing Blazing Lands, because that's definitely a bit of a far stretch. That would be a real blast to the past with the Adrenaline. But it's going to be a lot more of the crit variant. I know a lot of Felixes have been going extreme glass tank, on top of the fact that there have been some really nice items included in the game nowadays that gives you a little bit of health, in addition to beneficial stats like either attack speed or the attack power that Felix can opt to run for. So yeah, that Adrenaline should help him a little bit, and it fits in line with what his purpose is in this game, whereas in the last game he needed to act as a buffer for the rest of his team. This time around he is actually a damage dealer.
Yeah, looks like Saturn's gonna get brought down here. Auto Arms taking control over archery range. Meanwhile, yeah, just the usual early game shenanigans where some teams are grouped and others are not so much, but it looks like Blanche is actually here in full force. Asher might have bit off a little more than they can chew. Xenophine finding the knock-up on a G-Work on the backside, but he's going to be kind of left alone here. Sebi's already been brought down. And, yeah, Bear's just going to walk out and keep his team alive.
Absolutely. A couple of people just falling down. This is pretty standard. We've seen it across the board in our first day for pretty much this entire series, right? The number of picks a little bit on the lower end for this time, as we're just about crossing that 50-second left into day 1 mark. Unless people start fighting more, this will probably be one of the slowest starts of a game that we have had. Well, Bear's going to get taken down, but he's taken all the animals. I'd say hashtag worth. I'd still say slow.
Definitely worth. Definitely worth. I mean, he needs to regroup with his team now at this point, and they've already picked somewhere pretty to nestle into, so he's going to get that quick respawn, still level 7, so yeah. CNJ versus down here in the dock. Pixu gonna get frozen, but meanwhile on the backside, Kachu is being an absolute menace to Bao Bao and KCW. KCW still has his stack, so we'll see if he tries to turn something here on the... No, he's just gonna knock up his Zana. They might have to get wiped here. They're crowding the corner. Pixu striking Tiger to get out. The Spirited Kicks as well, but the chase from Elena is there. But the Speed Gate going to be able to keep him safe. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. But his team has revived, so they are going to be okay.
Really lucky that Papa just hit level 8. The Yan was also just about to hit level 8 as well. They were just apart, just so close from hitting that threshold, going over into that level 8 mark where your death timers are long. But of course, that was actually not the case. DHNJ still being alive. They were corralled into a corner. I think their hearts were going crazy for a moment there. But now they can relax and just go back to their own gameplay.
Yeah. Really well done by Pixie to stay alive here. It looks like the... Wow, okay, we're full sending it here. Hikasi trying to push forward to try and find a pull or any sort of angle, but Daejong Cybers has already disengaged this fight, so a little ambitious by Blaster here. Oh my, Reveille with the turn here, going all in, knocking... Who is that? Is that... Oh, Bin in the backside. Okay, I couldn't tell who that was. My eyes just stopped working for a second there. But yes, Bin gets brought down. Blaster's on the run with Blanche coming into Chapel just now as well. They're going to take the CCTV and maybe get some information on what's going on. Meanwhile, CNJ and Otterworms fighting. Oh my god, this is not a fight. This is a slaughter. They're wiped actually. THC and J going out. Night one rather. This is the first time we've seen a night one wipe. Now we're getting even earlier and earlier on these, high-paced fights.
Oh my god, okay, that's really bad. Bear in a little bit of situation, but it's actually Dina that's in a bit of a situation himself. Down he goes. One person eliminated from Daejong Cybers, but with Team DHCNJ down, I think the amount of third-party and flank watching can significantly decrease. DHCNJ is the team that always sits inside bushes. Also, I should say bush checking is going to be a little bit on the less priority once teams figure out that this team full of weird picks is definitely gone from game number 4. That is an early knockdown. Now, again, these guys were... I guess they relaxed a little bit too much. Don't take my word to heart, ladies and gentlemen. You do have to still make sure that you are keeping your wits alive so that whatever happened to DHCNJ doesn't happen to you. Yeah, that is extremely unlucky. A fall down in night number 1 with only 1 kill is not going to look good. Their resume... The Blanche going to lose out on Xenophine. Sebi's just going to completely book it, as their Adriana is also far away too.
It seems like Blanche early game really commits to the split farming bit here, especially on this composition where all 3 members are able to solo farm pretty efficiently, with all of them having, pretty good freeform mobility as well to try and escape situations, or at least make them harder for teams to really lock them down. So, yeah, and we can see it in their credits as well. I mean, they're racking them up a little bit. We already have the Force Core ready to be purchased for Xenophine here. If you compare it to a team like Asher, who's been grouped since, day 1, night 1 era, I mean, they're down a solid, I don't know, what was that, 20, 30 almost credits from each member of Blanche?
Yeah, the thing is, though, if Blanche don't die too much in the earlier stages of the game, especially once we hit that day 3 mark, all of the split farming does really come out in their favor. We've seen Team Blanche consistently be at the late game, despite not having too many kills, with all of their transitions in line. We're seeing the credit counts right now for that team. They're all calling items. The force field coming in from the Ekion, they should go up into the Guardian suit, and we've already seen what this priority item set gives for the Ekion. He is so much more confident in running into the backline, especially when we have something like a Theo, a Heart, when we have, let's see, what else do we have in this lobby? A Rio in this game on top of it. Yeah, that Vanguard is going to do so much in disabling that character, those kind of characters that really rely on that attack speed.
Yeah, the attack speed reduction from the Guardian suit is absolutely instrumental into shutting these characters down. Even something like Felix really loses his gameplay flow when he suffers from that attack speed deficit. But this fight breaking up before the battle zones even start here. Sebi in the backside, just wailing on Dina.
Man.
And the return on the other side of the fight is going to be Xenophine going down here. But Reveille already at half health with the hell attack stat being invested. Bear trying to find some more damage here and get some more going. Sebi, meanwhile, on the backside, he's going to enter execution here. So, yeah, this is pretty rough for Team Blanche. They have to wait for this exuviation before Sebi can really do anything. And with the timer ticking, yeah, Reveille recognizes this and just goes into the timer zone and just, that's going to be the pop right there on Sebi.
Oh, you hate to see it. It's not going to be Weapon Mastery 15 plus Ekion just yet. You can't rotate that too quickly as of yet. Asher, sitting on G-Work as the last member alive, is going to take the fall. There's the revive back on towards the other member of that team. Good stuff, good stuff. We still have a contest on the south side. This time around, it's just going to be for nothing, actually, as there's no objective down here. Team Isana, oh, trying to take the Sandstorm. They're not going to be able to find it. Nice try. Team Saber picks up one and says sayonara.
Yeah, I mean, the knockup from Dushiman there, securing that kill. I mean, he already has his Ghost Bride's dress online too. I mean, these 4-score transitions are definitely have been a priority for a lot of these teams, and a lot of them are, as you said, are investing it onto that front line. Things like Guardian Suit, things like Ghost Bride dress are huge spikes, not just for the tanks, but for these backliners as well. That defense shred from Ghost Bride dress being instrumental in providing a lot of damage.
Absolutely. Still a relatively slow game. I will say the pace is definitely low. I think the kill count across the board, what is it actually? 5, 6. I'm only counting the field kills right now, right? So 5, 6, 7, 11, 14, and 17. Yeah, for night number 2, it is definitely a bit on the slower side for what we've seen throughout the course of the weekend. This could definitely be in line with the fact that we are playing a non-my comp, right? These teams can't really afford to be super aggressive without facing a significant risk without the exclusive. So these teams are, in general, just playing a lot more passive.
Yeah, not only that, but, you know, with DHC and J being wiped, oh wow, another fight. Okay, hold on here. The hard ult is going to go down. Sebi is gonna drop to 1 HP, but all of is low here. They're all gonna split off and try to, you know, keep themselves alive. With the night just ending, Kashu's gotta get out of here. No, the day change is gonna happen. That is a day 3 kill, so Kashu is not gonna be able to respawn for free here. Isana also getting caught out a bit, but Sebi and Exuviation, he's already slowed to begin with the hard Q connecting. But he exits Exuviation, finds the slow from his own Q, uses his weapon skill to connect another slow, trying to keep him locked down, and yeah, this is gonna be Sana going down. His dashes are on cooldown for 10 more seconds. There's pretty much no way that Sebi and Xenophine don't catch up to him here. And that is now 2 per 0. Yeah. So touching back on what I was gonna mention before is, you know, we may have a little less action because one of our teams is actually wiped within night 1. So less teams, less players, less fights. Anyways, Team Hive versus Auto Arms. Blaster in the back, I mean, he's not near his gate anymore, and he's kind of split off here with... Oh, he is running Blink on Lennox. Okay.
My god! Twins Rush, there it is! No text, too!
Oh my goodness, man. These demos are just going absolutely ballistic. But meanwhile, on the backside, Bin almost taking down Sadhan, and Cinema, you know, being forced to kite back to help him out with Bin here. Otherwise, this could have been fatal for Sadhan on Rio, but the 2v1 on the other side of things already wrapped up. Taegyung going down, Auto Arms is going to have to back out.
Oh, well, I guess it's not late game enough for Taegyung to find some kills on this Debbie and Marlene. Healing from the Theo was enough to keep this Felix alive, and another fight now coming through for Team Blanche, as the damage onto Team is already starting to lock in. Bear in a little bit of trouble, but it's only going to be in the lane on the backside, threatening that character. White Lily going to be a bit of a miss for Bear, but he is still on the chase. Isana and Conchich is going to be completely on out of there. They do not want a piece of Team Blanche at all, but the Hyperloops are coming in. Team Saber now, seeing if they could duke it out up against Sebi. He's not going to have it a piece of that. He just wants to get on out of here. His dash is on cooldown right now. Weapon skill is back up. There it is. Level 2. He doesn't have enough cooldown on that just yet to use it freely as he wants to. But maybe he wants to farm a bit more mastery. He's going to actually opt to go for it. That is so much damage. Oh my god. Kachu just taken down to 0 from 100. Bear in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get taken down. But should Kachu fall down, this should theoretically go in a good way for Team Blanche. Xenophine trying to duke it out in a 1v2. The Mutant Dogs are going to make it a little bit difficult. The damage from Isana is starting to stack up. The jumps are coming in. The damage is there. Down goes Isana. Xenophine gets taken down too. But the Laura is already dead. It's irrecoverable for G. He has to run away. But another purple box stole him under the hands of Team Blanche.
Man, that was... Oh, man, that was a really tough fight. Xenophine, rather, G blocking the Don Quixote from Xenophine, negating Xenophine's ability to get on Isana, and Isana just, you know, using mobility, using the right click... just the ability to move around, to dodge out on a lot of Xenophine's ability, but Xenophine managing to find the double Q, did a lot of damage, and then Sebi on the back end coming in to clean it up. I mean, wow, that was a very close fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be what ends up happening once a lobby like this really comes to fruition. The lobby has been very close. Again, not too much action. Fantastic parry coming in, but the remnant damage still lands. Taeyong, is he out? Oh, just barely, but the Ghost Fire is there from G-Work. It does end up knocking down the Debbie and Marlene, which means Cinema has to book it. Wait a second, G-Work, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a lot of damage being dealt. Sadhan, no! He's not gonna be able to stay alive. The Peacemaker from Char is just gonna lock in the fact that he stays alive. Cinema does not have that much timer, and he is only a Priya. We talked about an Alonzo waddling around. Well, a Priya waddles around too. Down he goes. It's a 3-for-1 in favor of Team Asher. They do end up wiping out the team of Auto Arms.
Yeah, oh man, Auto Arms, they're pretty high on the scoreboard. Now a lot of these teams that are remaining are some of the lower scored teams. They have a big opportunity here to really catch up on things. Chol is actually going to opt to Hyperloop here. That was
interesting.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know what that was all about. He's getting a little goofy on the mainstream, but yeah, Joel's timer is so good now, man. What was that?
Maybe he was trying to get the credits from the person that died in gas station. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I guess they did not loot those corpses that were out in red. So catching the quick little loot. And how much credits does he have? Yeah, 300. Yeah, okay, that does add up. So yeah, that is what he did, I'd imagine. But it just looked really funny.
Yeah, if it does end up resulting in the Heart managing to pick up Heartbreaker eventually, 100% worth it. I think Heart is in a situation right now where her utility is pretty good with the Peacemaker, as we have finally seen an ERM, by the way. I think this is the only phase that I've seen so far where Peacemakers have actually been pretty crucial to winning some of these fights as a Heart. But her damage output is definitely a little bit on the lower side, right? Like, you know this, I know this. Her damage in the earlier stages of the season were really good, so she's been kind of cut down relentlessly by Nimble Neuron, which really makes it difficult for her to do damage without the Heartbreaker. That's why these credit counts are so good, but I think she ended up calling something like a Force Core. Her credit count is back down to 30.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a tool like Peacemaker, it's just too much utility to warrant doing as much damage as she was doing. So, rightfully nerfed, because, you know, she does provide a ton of utility. She's not a sole damage carry with how much mobility she has, coupled with her short range. It can be hard to deal a lot of damage some fights effectively. So, you know, more of a utility carry with a slow, with a death deny. Okay, right.
Kachu?
This zone is opening back up. Kachu is just kind of here. I don't. Okay.
Why was Kachu out there?
I don't know how he got there. I don't know what happened. But Cenifine trying to blink onto Blaster on the backside, but Mikasi denying the opportunity for Cenifine to get onto Blaster here. And meanwhile, on the tail end of things, Bin is doing so much damage to Sebi here. Sebi's getting really low. Cenifine completely split off, trying to find an angle, and the Blaster does find the knockup, but it's not going to be enough. The follow-up is just not there from the rest of Blanche here, and yeah, they're going to have to back out.
They're trying to get the res, but Team High is just not going to let that happen, which means for Blanche, they're going to have to find somewhere else to get the res. But look at the minimap. Look at the minimap. They're running straight into the members of Team Daejeon Cybers. There is another set of teams inside of Hospital 2, which means Blaster's going to be the one that gets caught out. This is absolutely devastating. Team High going to be on the back end, and Bin now walking straight into Daejeon Cybers. We just talked about how Blanche was supposed to be the team getting caught out, but it's Team High instead. 2 kills only, and they're going to fall down in 6th place. A bit better than last game, but not by too much. Their fight was good in Hospital, but the remnant, the aftermath, the fallout was atrocious.
And yeah, it looks like this is going to be a clean fight for Asher. Not much more to say about here. The Peacemaker coming out just to deny Satin the ability to try and kill anyone with rockets here. And yeah, it looks like Curry is just going to get this quick little revive off. I mean, ooh, good blinks all around. Satin, good, like, phenomenal reaction time, honestly. That would have hit me.
Yeah, that would have hit me too.
So, you know, that's not just to be expected, I suppose. The older you get, the worse your reaction time is. Anyways, Blanche farming it up at Factory, getting some crucial bat kills. And this is one thing I really love about Factory is there's 3 bats here. It's huge for picking up wards and vision control, with also having batteries and binocular spawn in this zone, you can really multiply your vision game by just coming to factory.
Absolutely. A lot of resources for these teams to get vision, but you know, that's assuming that you have surveillance cameras to begin with. I think they added the whole like additional probability for bats dropping surveillance cameras in 1.33, but here we go. Kachu on the backside, the Peacemaker goes down, Kachu just jumps in towards the end, but this honestly might have sealed his fate, and there's another team starting to pile on in from the north side. Sebi, he needs to get out, he doesn't have any resets right now, but he does make the distance. Now this is problematic for Isana, he's gonna get taken down. I think that was the Sun actually, Luminary, that does snipe that down, so an additional kill going in favor of Team Ditch and Cybers. 5 kills strong for that team, whereas for Team Blanche, it will be 7. Prominence picked up now for Xenophine. Who is it going to go to? I think Bear should have it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, CDR cap raise on Adriana is a tale as old as time, so it would be no surprise to see him pick that up and slam it. Lumi gonna give, I believe, drones were picked up, if my Korean is correct.
Yes.
I'd have to brush up on it a little bit. But yes, there will be drones picked up. Thank you for the clarification. I totally just 50-50.
Telephoto cameras.
Oh, it wasn't photo cammers?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's telephoto, so you missed it.
No!
I'm sorry I got your hopes up for a second there, my guy.
Man, you should have just said yeah and went along with it. I would have felt a lot better.
See, then somebody would have marked me out for it, and I would have felt bad.
Yeah. Saber is looking a little cornered here. I mean, they have Blanche and Asher kind of just shooting fish in a barrel at them. But, yeah, Blanche gonna push forward, you know, put Molotovs and oil slicks going down, but nothing really connecting. Saber, I mean, this is dangerous. I mean, they're gonna have to burn timer if both these teams become aware of what's going on here. It seems like Asher's just kind of holding their position. They're not really fully aware that Blanche is on the north side. So, we'll have to see what happens here. I mean, Saber's gonna have to do something, because they can't just keep taking pot shots from Bear. And yeah, I believe Asher has now seen that oil slick that went down, so they're aware that another team's nearby. Blanche actually giving up this positioning, so now Saber does have an out to try and run to the north side of the map.
Ooh, that Cataclysm actually hits quite a lot towards Satan and Curry. They're not even eating food right now. Nice dodge on the Queen. Or I guess that was a pawn Night Fork.
The Night Fork,
Everybody, yeah, just splitting up now. So this is actually really good. You're right. For Team Saber, they managed to get through a pretty tough spot. But Asher inside a factory is also another tale as old as time. Adela, extremely difficult to get through in these tight corridors. And for Team Saber, they don't have a guaranteed method to initiate in without taking a whole lot of punishment. And for G-Work to look for some of these snipes on the backside. They're going to have to spend a lot of time trying to get the poke in. Team Blanche looking for a possible flank Curry on the backside. Soul Stealer was invested. And it seems like Team Blanche is going to be the one to get the heads up on this play into the temporary zone. 15 seconds to go. 3 teams in Factory. 1 team is going to be in, I think, either Pond or Stream. We'll see who is the one to get the win in this zone. I don't know who has timer advantage right now as it stands.
Yeah, I have no clue. We'll have to see in just a second here what the timers are looking like.
Everyone's equal.
Looks like, yeah, it looks like everyone's full timers. So with Asher taking control of the zone, they are going to have a slight timer advantage on the rest of these teams. And I mean, Saber's actually looking to fight Blanche here. They're not going to ignore the zone, let Asher take control and have third-party rights. This is a little risky from them. And yeah, G-Work is going to come in with the checkmate, find his way to the kill on Satan. Meanwhile, Curry on the backside is going to go down to the Ghost Light, and now Dushiman left on his lonesome while Blanche comes full circle, coming back into the zone, but Sebi is low. The timers are low. Whoa, G-Work. Oh, no!
Wait, they managed to kill G-Work. He didn't have checkmate because he tried using it to kill people earlier. And now look at the timers. It's really good for Team Blanche. Malai, I think your curse didn't work this time around because people are about to start popping the timer one after another. Down goes Bear, but the health bars on the side of Sebi is just way too good. He has enough time to just deny this the entire time, and he has the weapon skill mastery to let that overflow go for infinity and beyond. But his timer, it's 1 second less than Dushiman. Uh-oh, this is not good. He's got to somehow get the kill. Oh, Dushiman is not going to walk out of this. He's not going to walk out. He's not going to walk out. No, Sebi!
Holding the line. Oh my god, the 1 second difference is what wins in this zone. That's insane.
The wet noodle fight.
Oh, and the hard ult just not coming out in time to save G-Work. It was just maybe a fraction of a second late. G-Work just getting bursted down is what lost them that fight. They were going to win off of timer. Oh man!
The curse.
And at the end, Sebi winning off of 1 second.
That sucks, man. Milai, his curse does stand. I apologize. I got his hopes up for a second. But for Team Saber, they gotta walk up. This is so smart from Team Daejeon Cybers. But even a better play from Team Saber. I don't think Daejeon Cybers has an idea. If Satan walks further up, oh my god. Okay, now they know. There's a catch on onto Satan, but he is gonna be able to get out. The Moon Dorito not gonna land on the Curry. They are safe at least for the time being. But
my
Dina
god,
gets
Curry.
sniped down. The auto attacks from Curry were absolutely insane. And now he just right clicks. Now the game is over. Team Saber with an incredible heads-up play. They get the positioning down. They force Daejeon Cyber's hand. 10 kills, first place. GG's.
And Satin, I mean, despite the knockup hitting, he would, Hayes is one of these backliners that has so much mobility. You have the SMG, you have the shotguns, which serves as, a stun as well, and the blink all invested to get Satin back to safety. And by that point, so much has been committed to trying to kill him that Curry just has free reign of the fight to do as he pleases.
That was so cool, man. That was such a cool way to end the game. Really nicely done from, again, Team Saber. I think they were really doing a good heads-up play. I don't know where the recon drones were. They didn't use a single one. It would have been really bad if they ended up bush checking that one, but that is not the way that they decided to go. Ended up taking the long way around instead. I love that play. It was a super smart macro play from Daejeon Cybers, but I think Saber just ended up one-upping them in that situation, unknowingly.
Unknowingly for sure. I mean, Saber's positioning there coming into that fight, they were all kind of clumped up together, so they were able to respond relatively quickly. Satin wasn't too split off from his teammates, so there was a good response into finding out that they're being engaged on from such a bizarre angle, if you will. But yeah, Saber finally finding their stride in this lobby. It's really felt like they've had some, successful games with unfortunate endings. So it's really nice to see them take a win here.
Absolutely. Really well done from these teams. And it almost gives me a little bit of the vibes from Gyeonggi Innate yesterday, doesn't it? Where any one more mistake coming out from these players, especially in the backline, would have probably been catastrophic. But the Moon Dorito was dodged by both the Nadine and the Hayes. Hayes, I think, managed to dodge out on a lot of crowd control by blinking away as soon as the Estelle shield bash landed. So she ended up dodging out on, I think it was the Adina Sun conjunct, which definitely kept her alive throughout the course of the fight. Really small side steps coming through from the Nadine to dodge out on, again, the Moon Dorito. Felix tried to come in from the backside, but the Nadine sidestepping everything from him again, too. You do any one of those wrong, you die as a backline, but they did everything perfectly, so beautiful. Just beautiful gameplay.
Yeah, being rewarded for playing perfect should be the name of the game, right? But we have our scores here. Blanche still in first here. Asher coming up in... Wow, Blanche has a huge lead, actually. What is that, 22 points from Asher to Blanche? But going from there, we also have Auto Arms at 41, Daejeon Cybers at 37. Saber, despite just winning, is still only in third place, so that just goes to show, these previous games they just played matter a lot, and how unfortunate things were for them beforehand. DHC and Jay bring up 6th, High in 7th with in 8th as well. I mean, again, there's still a lot more gameplay to be done, so a lot can still happen.
Absolutely, it's going to be great. But guys, that was game number 4, which means we are about to go to a break. So grab some water, go grab a snack, go take a stretch. We'll see you guys back here for our final 2 games of Eternal Return Masters Season 5 Phase 2 Wildcard Stages. Games 5 and 6 coming up right after the break.
사람들에게 행복을 선물하고 싶어. 태어나서 연애해본 적 없으면 마법사가 된다고 하잖아. 마술사는 될 수 있더라고. 마술사 등장! 새 무대를 준비해볼까? 지금 필요한 건 웃음과 마술이야. 동정과 카드, 어느 쪽이 좋아? 비비디 바비디 붐! 말하는 대로 이루어져라! 나에게 필요한 건 실력보다 미소. 어우, 좀 이쁘라니까. 표정이 왜 그래? 여기야! 우리 비둘기가 자기가 당신보다 머리 좋을 것 같대. 어떤 카드가 좋아? 널 위해 준비했어. 토끼와 함께. 우리 비둘기가 살려달래. 폭력 반대. 웃어줘.
대부분의 문제는 폭발로 해결돼. 예술은 폭발이야. 터뜨릴 준비는 끝났어. 그냥 터뜨려버리면 안 되나? 기폭시켜줄까? 날려버리는 수가 있어. 발밑을 조심해야지. 이런 건 전자전 지원을 받아야 하는데 퓨즈 관리는 철저하게. 조심해, 폭발하니까. 문제 해결 완료.
일레븐의 결혼식 브이로그. 지금 바로 시작할게. 드레스 어때? 오늘을 위해 특별히 준비했어. 신부 입장. 아직 브이로그 안 끝났다고. 빵빵빵. 받아줄 거지. 와, 케이크가 더 커졌어. 예쁜 추억 많이 만들자. 저기 있어. 청첩장은 안 줬는데. 영원한 사랑을 맹세합니다. 11의 결혼식 브이로그 봐주셔서 감사합니다.
밝은 달 아래 맑은 바람 불어 버들잎은 말없이 그저 흔들리네. 세상에 바람 한 점 없는 곳이 있다고 하더니 이 섬이 바로 그곳인가? 바람을 타고 자유롭게 섭리의 바람 휘몰아쳐라. 기류를 타고 풍류운산. 바람이 길을 열고 구름이 흩어지니 흐르는 대로 흘러가는 대로 종잡을 수 없는 고민이 있는 모양이군. 도사란 무엇인가? 바람을 부리고 구름을 타고 날아 도를 주는 자. 너희들은 도를 믿지 않아도 좋아. 무엇을 믿을진 사람 나름이니까. 이 또한 섭리일지니.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from the break. Hopefully this time you guys had a Fabulous one. There you
Bad
go.
break.
That's how I'm gonna one up it from before. Yes, we are back now for the Eternal Return Season 5 Phase 2 Wildcards. Again, it always feels like I'm rapping every single time I say those phrases because I need to get it down pat. But we are now back for games 5 and 6, the final 2 games of the Wildcard stages, and these 2 games are going to be our final deciders on which 4 teams moves on into the finals tomorrow and which 4 teams will be eliminated and only pull some scraps when it comes to the circuit points for the season finals today.
Yeah, I mean, with the scores so close in these wild cards too, like it really still is anybody's game. I think the only shoe-in for the finals right now is Blanche. The rest of the teams are still incredibly close, so it could go anyone from 8th to 2nd really still has a shot. But we're getting into this game right now, so we will have to see what this game with no bans is going to entail. We're going to see Mize coming back for sure, but we'll see how the other compositions adjust.
Will we now? I see 2 out on the field right now. There's the 3rd one coming in for Mangnani. Sutton still debating on what to pick, but Dushimen's on the Estelle. That should be okay. We do know Cinema does like playing the Mai, so this might honestly be a 4-Mai lobby. Not too surprising about that one. It's been pretty standard across the board. But I will say, Meek, now that I'm actually paying attention to it, the weather actually makes sense for this one. Look at that. Cloudy with a chance of lightning.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's proper weather for once in our lives, and it looks like Asher is going to have Chol on the Carla here. We haven't seen much Carla this weekend, if any.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've seen Chard play it before. Maybe I have, maybe once or twice, but this is a really good way to set up G-Work too. Shackling Anchor is really good at slowing people now, and it is that insta-slow, right? So this means that there are multiple ways to set up G-Work. Of course, he himself can do it. You have Chard just throwing down the Shackling Anchor from quite far range, which will set up G-Work and landing his queen a little bit better if communicated correctly. You have Jumo on the Alonzo. That's a tale as old as time. The Alonzo Adela. There are so many ways that Team Asher can actually get the jump on people unknowingly before they're actually able to react. People are going to have to be careful even further, and I hope that these teams are already looking into that, because you have to, if you try to deal with it the moment you see them, it's already too late.
Yeah, exactly. But fortunately for us, the rest of these compositions are looking pretty much the same. Nothing too unfamiliar coming up from these teams. Oh, loot buddies between the Felixes, my favorite. We'll see if Bin's able to hit everything he needs here.
How many people are here, man? There's 7 people in Forest.
Oh my god.
And it's to a point where even Dialin, who usually tends to go, hotel into Forest, is forced to start in Forest. I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for everybody, the new addition to the Hyperloop in Forest is going to enable, starting Forest as a much more viable option and offer a lot more routing. One of those mid-season changes that we didn't really get to talk about all too much that has, heavily affected how people route.
100%. And I personally, as someone who plays Dialin every off chance I get, yeah, that Hyperloop is really nice. In the end, there's a couple regions that, before the Forest Hyperloop was added, I thought was genuinely completely isolated away from the map. Like, if you're in those zones and you don't really have too much to do, you're going to waste a lot of time. It was Forest, and the other area is the bottom right side of the map where Warehouse and Dock resides. Very, very far away from any easily accessible Hyperloops, and the fact that they added one inside of Forest really gets my hopes up in that they're going to make it a little bit more accessible for you to be able to not spend too much time in one zone without doing anything. So maybe the next one, when you're on, please, Dock and Warehouse, question mark?
Oh, I would love a Dock Hyperloop. Oh, man, that would just make life so much easier.
Yeah.
But some of our teams coming across, some standard early game shenanigan kills, but this looks like a little more than just one kill, as it's a full committed fight. Is going to have to back out of this one and leave their heart for dead. Oh, Kashu actually going to go down as well, so G going to be the last remaining player alive for them. Meanwhile, on the top side, Cenophy going down to Asher.
He's in crossbow for Char, okay. Alright, so I guess we moved away from the days where Ballista was the only crossbow that Carla decided to build. That's an interesting one. I guess going for a little bit of that healing reduction early on into the game. Hurry, he's going to be able to dodge out of the Tomahawk Roundhouse. Of course, you got the White Lily plus the speed gate combination. There he goes. Whereas Hisana, gets caught out by Sebi, and again, we're seeing this Debbie and Marlene succeeding in the earlier stages of the game. With this being the only game they're going to get on this Debbie and Marlene and Priya, theoretically, with the Mai being banned again, have to make use of this and even create a bigger point gap between themselves and the rest of the lobby to almost guarantee them to go into the finals. But here we go. There's a Striking Tiger coming in, but I believe the Moon Dorito just stopped everyone from doing anything, which means Peksu goes down and KCW goes down. Alba's gonna have to completely book it with the change, whereas another fight happening inside a pond directly to the left of where we just saw. Down goes Curry, down goes Dushiman. The Haze is the last one alive on Saber.
Yeah, C&J cannot afford to wipe early again. I mean, they just pretty much sat for like half an hour watching everyone else play the game. So I know for personal experience, that is such a disheartening and like awful experience. So yeah, we'll have to see how they adjust coming into this game with that much downtime, bringing their hands more or less cold at this point.
It's a pretty standard gameplay that we're seeing from a lot of these teams again too, so it's nice to see some kind of consistency from a lot of these players. The amount of aggression has been a perfect balance between just go whenever you can and then just don't when everybody else is also not going. We always see screens like this. It's always split screens throughout the course of the night, where if one team starts fighting, another set of teams are going to start fighting on the complete opposite side of the world. And this time around, it was Team High versus Team Blanche. Team Blanche, again, taking the one-up in that fight too. 2 kills up in this lobby with this Debbie and Marlene picking up a solo kill as well. The snowball begins.
Magnati also posturing here for this cemetery contest. 20 seconds until the tree spawns. Trying to maintain this position, but no, Kachu's going to have to dash out rather than going in. Magnati, realizing that the dash of Laura is down, looks for the taunt engage, and yeah, G is on the backside trying to kill Dina, but meanwhile on the other side of the fight, Kachu goes down to Isana. And also in Hotel, we have another tree contest going on with Saber and DHC and J. It looks like Daejong Cybers will be able to pick up the cemetery tree, and this fight over in the Hotel tree is very scattered. It looks like Blanche is going to be the ones to pick up the tree, though.
Good stuff, good stuff. G is finally going to get taken down as he gets sandwiched by 2 different teams. We are going to see Revolu also sacrificing his life for the greater good, as the Tree of Life, picked up by the rest of his team, is going to be a good signal. I believe that should be the Scotties again coming in for the Adina. We talked about this yesterday. Very, very standard pick. Whereas Team Auto Arms looking for additional kills. Dushiman just used shield, which means he's not going to have access to that. He will get taken down eventually. Team Auto Arms the ones to pick it up. 4 kills strong, a very, very good start for this team considering what happened to them in Game 4.
Yeah, and I love seeing this strategy come out. Tetragon is invested, but nothing else is really going to happen here. Auto Arm's going to back out. KCW not really able to find an engage for them. Anyways, doubling back, I love this strategy because it's something I don't see in North America all too often, which is the sacrifice play where you just go, okay, you guys can have 1 point, but we're going to take this tree and take the tempo advantage for this lobby. And it's a very interesting deal that goes on quite frequently in ERM here.
Well, Peksu's completely isolated by himself. The rest of his team, they were considering coming to help, and they said, nah, this batch more important.
Yeah, you know, Dylan being Left 4 Dead, classic. Okay, we have another 45 seconds until the objective rotation spawn between Alpha and Battle Zones. It looks like Auto Arms is going to posture in towards Temple here, but they are going to be met by Daejong Cybers. Daejong Cybers knows they're here. They see these ports. Auto Arms also aware of what's going on. They're going to back out here and actually head towards, like, guessing the stream Battle Zone, maybe pick up a couple hunts along the way here.
Very, very quick decision making from Team Auto Arms. I guess they had a plan in mind when coming into Temple. Hey, if this alpha is free, we will take it. Otherwise, we can immediately book it. This is what time management really allows you to do. It actually gives you options. So I really like that decision. Decision making on point for these players, and also very quick, which is also really good, right? Because by game 5 and 6, small differences in how you play the game is going to make a lot of difference in how well it goes. One of those biggest differences is how you decide to macro. So many teams take so long making decisions that eventually you're just going to run out of time and you cross a line that you cannot come back from. Team Astronaut duking it out up against DHCNJ. They do have drone control, and this is a Carla. DHCNJ, they got to make some kind of decision quick before they get continuously poked down, but I don't know what kind of decisions, because just a set of 3 harpoons obliterates Peksu, and he uses this What? He uses the spear to kick over the wall. He just pops his death
He
timer as
popped
30
himself over the
seconds.
wall.
Bro.
Man. I mean, he was getting popped either way by Asher, but you don't want to go out like that.
Now his death
Oh,
timer is
man.
long. It's going to be stagnated. His death timer is going to be completely off compared to the rest of his team. Okay, unfortunate.
Yeah, it looks like the finger point is going to land on the G here, but he is going to get saved by this hard ult. But for how long will he be able to stay alive? He's actually quite healthy now. He was just at 1 HP. I swear he was. What just happened here? I'm completely turning this fight around, but Jumo finding a kill for Asher here. But yeah, it looks like Carla is going to retreat back to the battle zone for Team Asher and keep themselves alive.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for G-Work, by the way, because his ultimate came up as soon as he died, but there's another huge fight starting out in Factory. I say start, but I think it's already over. Kyungkwae gets obliterated. Bin's also going to get followed through as a Striking Tiger lands, locking him down in sight. Good damage coming out from DHCNJ. Nice couple picks coming through for that team as well, which means for High, it's just going to be that Priya of Ikasi just running away into the depths of the south side of the map. Another fight on the north side of the map too, as Titan Cybers and Team Auto Arms duking it out, potentially looking for something. I don't know what they're looking for though.
Yeah, I mean, that was classic DHC&J. Nice little bush check. The knock-up landing onto JCP, but the exclusive is going to be able to keep him alive. Auto Arms on the run. The catwalk not going to find its mark on the sad hand, so no taunt is going to be able to come through. Whoa!
Oh,
JCP!
my
God. But that might spell their undoing. Now Cinema is going to get hit by the Moon Dorito, but it's not going to be enough. There is not going to be any follow-up to kill Cinema. Wow, that was an attempt.
It still was a night number 2 death, and on top of it, Auto Arms is somehow able to secure a Mithril on top of that. I guess the team that they just fought didn't really bother chasing for. Maybe they were going for a different transition or something like that. But Team Auto Arms, for now, they are going to be able to get away with murder. I guess they're the ones that got murdered, but you know what I mean at that point. Fiora is going to come back, and that signals the end of free resurrections coming through for game number 5. Starting from now, minus 250, but we are 24 players strong, and that might change quick because there's another fight. Down goes one already. It's going to be Team Kachu's already down on the ground. G is trying to run. Freezes all over the place. There's the slow coming through. There goes in Isana. G is going to get out. Elena, very difficult to chase even at this stage in the game, but this is a really, really bad time to lose 2 members. And it's again, Team losing 2 members. That's another minus 500 at day 3. Come on.
Yeah, they just can't seem to, you know, get their credits in line here, but we'll have to hold that thought as JCP is resting up in the bush while Cinema and Sadhand try to buy some time. Jumo still pushing forward, is going to use the finger point onto JCP. The Queen combo is going to come out. Is he going to go down? Yes, he gets blown up. Trademark G-Work using that Queen off of CC combo to just blow up a tank. And now G-Work is going to follow suit going down here. It is now down to a 2v2. Jumo is going to get blown up here, and now Sadhand is moving! Oh my god, and the pistol skill is going to come out, and that is going to be the end of Team Asher here, going out 8th place.
What wonderful... Oh, wait, no, I don't... Wait, was it them that went out in 8th place, or was it Team Because G also got found out. Sadhand, unfortunately, is going to get caught out himself. That's going to be a minus 500 going to the hands of Team Auto Arms. I think they almost just barely have enough credits that they farm up maybe 10 or so more. So they are going to be able to recover from this. But Sadhand, with some optimal targeting in that situation, JCP also being able to lock down G-Work after he invested the checkmate to kill the Mai is absolutely huge. And on top of that, I think Sadhand being able to support Alonzo, especially JCP, he doesn't have Flash anymore. He doesn't actually have any hard crowd control that procs the shield of the Alonzo. All the Razi has to do is just not use gun vault, and the shield is absolutely useless. It does nothing.
Yeah. It's when, you know, it's great when it negates CC, but if there's no CC to negate, then you're right. It's completely and utterly worthless. Okay, we have High coming. Yeah, he's gonna get picked off again. Classic C&J gameplay. The bush checks, the vision cheese. They love doing this stuff. I mean, it's right up my alley with gameplay for sure. Bao Bao trying to use the change to find the polymorph, but Youngkwae is going to get out here. They are going to be able to find this revive as well onto Ikasi. So, yeah. High, back on their feet.
It's all good. It's all good. Fast recovery is always a good thing to see. We do have a flare gun and somebody on Team Tejon Cybers. That will be a red box spawning for these guys. And there's a red one too, so it's not going to spawn anywhere but that specific player's location. See what they do end up getting, but for Pixu, oh, he might be the one getting caught out this time around. Nice reactions, complete double knock-in. Oh my god, the crowd control rotation was excellent. And now Team High is in a whole heap of trouble. Hikasi was in the situation just now, and now he's the last one alive. Not anymore. Team High, beautiful reactions from KCW, and that's what we want to see from our signature Yan player in KR.
These Korean Yans are exceptionally good. I mean, they, like, I don't know how... Man, I thought I saw the peak of Yen like years ago, but I'm seeing it now. Like, it's just insane how good these guys are at this character, and how, like, the angles they find and the predictions they make and everything they do is just so phenomenal. KCW absolutely alley-ooping his team there.
That's gotta be one of the worst feelings in the world, though, right? Because Kyunggu was the one looking for an opportunity. They were the ones that had the vision up. But Pixu, with some really nice reaction times, he only ate the Bell auto attack from the ERM. After that, he didn't really take too much damage. They overreached. The ERM tried to recover from overreaching, but then the Yan just comes out of nowhere across the wall, jumps over that thick wall, and then blasts them straight into the wall. Oh my god, dude. I swear, watching KCW and Taekyung play Yan, it almost gives me an epiphany that Yan is a character that I will never be able to play to this level, because my decision making will never be this good. I swear, these guys are on a different caliber when it comes to decision making on Yan.
Yeah, it's so... I don't know, it's so refreshing to see somebody just so exceptional at a character like Yan. I mean, we've seen it before in North America a long time ago, an ancient name that I will not mention. I'm sure he comes to your mind as well when I speak of the legend himself, but now, you know, these Korean Yans are just like on even a whole other level from that, which is just, I didn't even think it was possible.
Could it be a certain Cobalt skewer, or
a certain, yes, a certain Cobalt skewer, yes.
Yeah, you never think about the same person.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. There was really only one name that could come to mind as far as North American Yen goes, but yeah, these Korean Yens are even more exceptional than that, which is it's mind blowing to me.
Absolutely. One of the reasons why I'm always so surprised to see, you know, them maybe occasionally flipping away from the Yan, because their gameplay, whenever you see them on the Yan, is absolutely mind-boggling. They can always turn fights, and I've said this before in the past, but if KCW ever gets into a single game in a series where he's starting to pull off these insane tetragons, insane tomahawk roundhouses, he does that for the whole series. I don't know how he does it, but once he gets going, he gets going. If he doesn't get going, then he's still good on the character. He just doesn't get any crazy plays, which is almost never necessary. It just helps you.
Yeah, for sure. But Blanche picking up the wick line in the process of this. Yeah, the blood weapon going over to Priya. C&J just, you know, they've settled down now. They haven't found any real plays or gotten any real information to try and make something happen onto somebody. Saber trying to push forward on Daejeon Cybers. These rockets are going to connect. Revlu about a quarter of his health gone, but it's very easy for that to be healed up with Nadina by your side. Oh no, Blanche is actually going to corner them here, and they are going to have to run south here to try and escape Blanche. But they are on the chase. This White Lily is going to be able to get them out though, so Blanche still looking for more. C&J and Saber hovering with Blanche coming down into stream as well. Despite breaking up
Oh my god.
Oh man, this angle is huge, but the third party is there. Curry is going to get brought down as well. And now Saber, Dushiman, the last remaining player alive, with the DHC&J on the run as well. But wow, that angle they found onto that fight. KCW once again is just, this game is, he's just playing really well right now.
Dushiman blinked and both of its teammates were just obliterated, dude. I swear to God, KCW, I have no idea. He's a heat-seeking missile to the backline. He just always finds an angle, and he finds it again, and he somehow gets a tomahawk roundhouse on top of it. The fight is just completely split, but JCP, he turns it around. Bubba is already down on the ground. Remember that Sad Hand is still alive, so they have to somehow recover from this, but JCP stays alive too. And now with the Razi coming in, this Yan is absolutely dead to rights. It looks so good for a moment, but but DHCNJ, they are gonna get wiped here. Dylan can't run from this. Down they go. Auto Arms, beautiful reaction. Sadhand somehow staying alive, not being able to get caught out with the remnant of damage. He stays alive. JCP stays alive. Cinema still holding strong. DHCNJ on the other end, they get wiped.
Yeah, and at that point, once you've invested that much into trying to kill Sadhand and not getting him down, not getting JCP down either, the fight just kind of it falls apart, right? Sadhand gets to rest up and comes back with a respectable amount of health, and it's just curtains from that point. So yeah, really well played by Auto Arms, and as you said, you nailed it perfectly. Perfect reaction from them. I mean, had Sadhand gone down there, that would have been a completely different fight.
It's gonna be tough, and especially for Team Saber. Dushiman, now he is sitting in absolute dire straits. He has Lumi under control, but he's gonna start walking away eventually. His credit count is also down in the dirts right now, trying to potentially hold Lumi, but Lumi will just continue walking if you don't interact with him for a while. And there he goes. It's gonna be a first aid kit called by Lumi, and I think that's gonna be it for Team Saber. 1 kill is all they're gonna be able to most likely get. Starting from now, it is just rat time for eternity on the side of Dushiman. Oh, this is gonna be a rough one for that Estelle, and he's found out.
And for the standings too, poor Saber. I mean, he's 2 seconds timer as well. He is just dead. Blanche finding their way to another kill. I mean, if you were to give one of these teams a kill, you'd want it to be Blanche. They're already the point leaders. They've pretty much clinched their spot into the finals by this point. So, not the worst person to die to for Team Saber. And if you're Saber in the position you're in, you were in 5th coming into this game, so getting 1 kill has got to feel really rough going into this final game.
Yes, sir. It's going to be tough. Game 5 has to be the catalyst, has to be the foundations of whether or not you even have a chance of making it into the finals. But for Team even for Team DHCNJ, who were sitting on the bottom 4, might start getting a little bit difficult unless the 8 points that DHCNJ were able to scrounge up in this game is going to be enough of that foundation to maybe give them a chance in game number 6. For Team Blanche, Auto Arms, and Tejon Cybers, however, they're just solidifying their spots, I believe, in the top 4 now. I think all of them are in there. We've seen each of these teams have a very, very successful game, whether it's they won the game with a good dominating performance, or they just had a lot of kills overall. Each of these teams, they're just, again, solidifying their position in the top 3, making it all the more difficult for the rest of the lobby to solidify any of positionings in the top 3 themselves.
Yeah, but going into this, Auto Arms and Blanche, I mean, we've seen these guys butt heads pretty much all wildcards now. No third parties or anything are going to happen here, as Daejong Cybers is in the other zone all on their lonesome.
Weak.
We'll have to see...
Again, it's Auto Arms, Tejon Cybers, and Blanche, by the way. The fight begins. Take it away.
Okay, well, the fight begins, but it's already pretty much over. JCP is completely chunked. Auto Arms is just not able to find any damage on a Blanche's composition. Look at the shielding from Priya. How do you pick somebody to hit? They're all so durable.
Yeah, Sadhand, we're gonna have to see another 1v3 at this point. There's something. We couldn't see it in the last game, but Sadhand has to step up here. Blanche, this is a very difficult roster, and for the first time we are actually seeing Blanche be the team that has to deal with one of these other 2 Remnant teams, so this is a little bit of a change up. Really nice attempt from the Mai. That is a double stun, but I don't think it's going to happen because Razi is a little bit too single target focused. The shields are just never ending. Nobody takes damage on this comp, dude. I swear to God.
Between the catwalk and Priya, it's just impossible to do damage if you're Auto Arms. Auto Arms, they're so short range, so committal on their fight that as soon as they go in, the reaction is there to
They're hyper-looping in. Wait a second, I just saw a blood sample being called from Team Blanche. Are they going to be able to buy enough time for the Priya to actually build something? Well, either way, they're going to have to start fighting now. Positioning-wise, I do have to say that Tejon Cybers does have a slight advantage, but this isn't the final zone. We got about 30 seconds before that goes. Tejon Cybers is going to give a little bit of extra space for the rest of Team Blanche to maybe find a little bit of a breathing room. With, okay, Songhara, not Songhara, sorry, Senafine getting taken down a little bit. They're still trying to call a little bit of food. The Ghostfire is gone from this team, and now Sebi is trying to get a little bit of damage done. Remember, Sebi is sitting on the Durandal already. I don't know what his upgrade is, but it's probably the Smolder. The longer this fight goes, the worse it is for Team Tejon Cybers. Sebi is still going. He is trying to get as much damage down. Revolut doesn't have a way into this fight at all. Magnani gets taken down again. 11 kills for Team Blanche. They're looking for 13. They're continuing the fight. Revolu trying desperately, but there is no damage coming out from this team at all. The shields are just bonkers.
Oh my goodness, man. Like, the catwalk shield, and more importantly, the Priya shielding is just so much, and it's on everybody, and I just don't even know what to say. I mean, Blanche is playing phenomenally, and this composition is just handcrafted for, like, counter engages. It's just, Sebi is just an absolute menace on this demo as well, so it's just, I don't know. I'm really surprised that Daejeon Cybers went for the Hyperloop into Hospital. It felt like a very risky play, but after watching that 3v3 there, maybe they need to try and make a risky play like that to make something happen.
Absolutely. Well, for Team Blanche, this is their third game of the series. All of the 3 games they've won so far is with the exact same composition. This time around, 14 kills on the hand, 100% win rate for Blanche on their Mai, Priya, and the Debbie and Marlene composition. Watch out, finals. You guys have quite a roster coming to deal with you guys tomorrow as well. This is going to be really, really, really interesting. And if I'm going to be quite honest with you, Meek, you said earlier that this team doesn't really have too much damage, and I do agree with you on that, but over the course of time, it's going to build. But the problem is, they refuse to die. You know, they say that you can die by 1,000 cuts. This is like 1,000 cuts that's made out of titanium, but they will come at you extremely quickly. You can't stop it.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what to say about this team. They just don't take damage. And it's really interesting that when Mai is banned, they swap off of this composition. I really feel like they could just substitute in another tank, maybe something like Estelle, and just keep running this composition. And we didn't see them play this at all yesterday in the group stages. So these final teams that are watching have to be like shaking in their boots thinking, oh my god, we haven't played against this composition at all. And they look absolutely dominant on it.
Well, oh gosh, dude, I think tomorrow's going to be fun just from watching what's happening today. We saw Blanche yesterday struggling with the compositions. They were able to scrounge around and just barely made it all the way up into the wildcards by having a stellar end of the group stage performance. I think they found their answer, though, to pretty much everything they want to do. Debbie and Marlene really showing up strong in the 1.31 patch of Phase 1 and the 1.32 patch of Phase 2. There is definitely a good reason why she was nerfed in 1.33, and we're seeing it right here. She is so overwhelming if you have a team that is just built on making sure she stays alive, making sure she's able to rotate through her skills without fearing her life and forcing her hand at the parry or even the twins rush. I don't know, man. Blanche is just so well prepared for today.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, with the Mai ban coming back again this game, we'll have to see if they switch their composition again. I mean, Mai is pretty pivotal into executing the strategy of Dema just never dying or Senefy never getting picked off. The exclusive is such a valuable tool. The catwalk shielding as well is also very useful, and just the amount of utility Mai brings to the table for this team is insurmountable, perhaps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But even if it's an unsurmountable lead, you still have to try to overwhelm it as much as you can, right? It's just the name of the game. That is the way that a tournament ends up working. And realistically speaking, ever since, maybe Game 4, you were probably not really looking to overcome at least Blanche's scores anyways to begin with. Just look for everyone else's.
No, really, yeah. That's totally correct. I mean, they've had a bit of a runaway, and especially with this win, I mean, if they weren't, clinched for finals before, they certainly are now. This scoreboard is going to have them with a gargantuan lead, but the rest of the 3 spots are still very contestable, I'd imagine, for the rest of our teams. I'd imagine Daejeon Cybers is doing pretty good. They've had a lot of consistent games thus far in the series. If I'm Saber, I'm definitely worried, because you're still relatively high on points, but you need to have a breakout performance this game rather than 2 consistent games that you could have had. So, and with the comp that they're playing, it's really hard to have like a pop-off game when you're running a frontline like Estelle with that double backline. So we'll have to see if Saber switches up their composition to overcome this point deficit. But I believe we have our scores ready in just a moment here.
Yes, sir. Let's take a look at it. We're going into Game 6 with this one. Guys, again, top 4 after the next game moves on into the finals. Bottom 4 will get eliminated. As of right now, Team Blanche, 91 points.
Yeah,
They are
wow.
36 points ahead of second place. They are guaranteed to go into the finals unless some kind of catastrophic thing happens. Although I highly think that that's not happening in this universe. In second place, Team Auto Arms with 55, Asher in third with 52, Daejeon Cybers in fourth with 48, and there is a hefty 10-point buffer between fourth place and fifth. The Vanguards are holding strong. It's not like it's an impossibility for, I would say, Team Saber, DHCNJ, and maybe even High. But for Team High, it's a little bit far-fetched. DHCNJ, another roster where it is very difficult to get those pop-off games. And we really, quite frankly, haven't seen them make it all the way to the end of the game with their roster. They can get a lot of kills, but they would have to make sure that they can finish at least within top 2 to solidify the amount of points they get on top of the kills they get in this game. So it's going to be tough for DHCNJ. Same thing for Team Saber as well with the Estelle that you just mentioned. They have a long way to go. I think they really need to be strategizing right now before the game begins.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that really needs to happen is either Daejeon Cybers or Asher going out. I think Auto Arms is a little bit far-fetched for either Sabers, DHC, and J to catch up to, and Plunge certainly is. So you really need one of these two teams between Asher and Daejeon Cybers to wipe early, so that way they don't rack up much points themselves. So that way, if you're Saber, DHC, and J, you can, start trying to catch up that 10 or 11 point deficit that you have from Daejeon Cybers. It's going to be hard for both of these teams, because as you said, as we were talking about, Saber's composition that they've been running isn't really crafted for a pop-off game. And DHC and J, I mean, they play a very dishonest game. They love vision checks.
Yeah.
They love playing angles with their unorthodox composition. But when it comes to honest, straight-up fights, I mean, it's solely reliant on KCW hitting some two-man knock-up or two-man wall stun or something wacky in order for them to win.
Absolutely. We'll see what ends up happening. Team Saber, they're going to have to pull off the pop-off performance we saw in game number 4. They're going to have to make it to the end of the game. They're going to have to pick up many kills. Will rotate back onto their tried and true tested Hayes, Nadine, and the Estelle. We will see if that is going to be enough for them to overcome the Vanguards currently. That is, I believe, Team Daejeon Cybers. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Characters are locked in. Cenophian is about to have some fun. This is a pick I haven't seen in over 2 seasons now from Cenophian. He brought this out, and he actually carried a fight on this character inside a stream. I remember it. You were there for it. You absolutely were, my guy. And we're about to witness it once again.
Oh, man. Oh, this puts a smile on my face. I love seeing picks like this. Like something like Abigail. Like, Cenophine's the only Abigail I've seen in ERM personally. I don't know if anyone else has been playing it. Maybe in the qualifying stages we've seen some. I didn't quite catch those, but yeah, Blanche is, they've got such a huge point lead that they're going to have a little bit of fun here. And yeah, I'm fully about it. Looks like Saber is going to stick with the composition they've been running. So yeah, I'm interested to see if they can get one of these big pop-off games. I mean, we saw it from Youngie yesterday. They were able to find a huge game, but they were running something like Nikki, something that can get a little more aggressive.
Yeah, you're right. The Nikki would have been pretty interesting, but again, it's their tried and true tested composition. They won with this in game number 4 after all. Maybe they're trying to bank on that kind of experience, try to go for another one in game number 6, the final game that determines their tournament standing in the Eternal Return Masters Season 5 Phase 2. We shall see if it will be enough. Now, highlighting this Abigail pick, I will be very brutal. I don't think it's a good fit in this lobby. Just because there are, even aside from the fact that how Abigail is weak, all the memes like that, just character-wise, the team RPS that I always talk about, it just doesn't fit. Like, who are you killing in this lobby? Maybe the Hayes and the Nadim, but they're going to be far away. We've seen Mangnani holding so strong as the front line that usually if you're going to go that far in, you're going to get punished, maybe by a stun or something. You're always going to be following up on Sebi, but Sebi's going to bring every single one of the backliners further away because he pressures them away so far. The Abigail is kind of stuck dealing with the front line, and that's not what she's meant to do.
Yeah, no, it almost feels like Adriana's a mismatch for this composition. I would have loved to seen another backliner that can like really get down and dirty and dive in, or even just like another melee and just full melee comp. Yeah. Yeah, Bernice might have been really good. Bernice with that Ebola can create the engage for Blanche, as well as, getting into melee range and getting that bonus damage from his passive. That would have been a pretty good pickup here for Blanche, but, Adriana is what they have, and that's what they're going to get, and there's nothing wrong with that. Adriana can still contribute to a fight from, outside of interaction range for a lot of other characters. And with Mai being banned as well, the exclusive is going to be able to not be accessed, so that way Xenophine can ult without worrying about exclusive denying Xenophine from activating or landing that damage.
Exactly. A huge fight inside of Pawn that's just kind of carrying over from one fight after another. There is the first kill from Xenophine. Abigail picks up one. We're about to see another one. Asebi still continuing the aggression over onto Peksu. Paul was about to die. Wait.
C&J is wiped.
That is
so
actually
they are
the
eliminated.
fastest death.
Yeah, they are definitely eliminated from the tournament at this point. Wow, that it's still day one. What?
Oh, they get to go to sleep early, I suppose. It is what right now, 10 p.m. in Korea. I don't know if it's any good solace, but it's there.
Solace nonetheless, but. Oh, wow, so who's the other team that was kind of close to making it out? It was Saber, right. Saber has their work cut out for them. I mean, Asher already has found their way to a kill, same with Daejeon Cybers, so they're already falling a little further behind in that point deficit, so they're going to have to get things rolling soon, because if Asher and Daejeon Cybers find too many kills, this point deficit that they're already at just grows wider and wider.
Yes, sir. Moto Arms about to lose JCP. Bin is on the chase. Again, he is pretty good at landing everything, but now he's walked into the honeypot. JCP not going to be able to find it as the wind scars and all of the skills on Felix is just meant to get him away. We love to see that man just swinging his spear all over the place, just swoosh, 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 and dodging out on everything.
Oh, well, I certainly do not like it when Felix dodges a certain Q ability of mine, but yes, he does manage to escape this situation. Saber, I mean, these guys are going to be the guys to watch this lobby between Saber, Asher, and Daejeon Cybers. The rest of these teams, I mean, Auto Arms is already at 5 kills. I mean, with how many points they had initially to begin with as well, they're pretty much a shoo-in for the finals as well, I'd say. Blanche obviously is making it through. And I think High and are a little bit too far out of the running, so Saber, Asher, and Daejeon Cybers are going to be the stars of the show for this final game. It looks like we're going to try and see an engage from Senna, but he's not going to find the freeze onto Akasi quite yet. Oh, yes, he does find the freeze. Comes out and all the damage is piled on. And now they're focusing on Bin as well. They're going to find 2 kills. Auto Arms looking strong this game. It's already at 7 kills within day 1.
Oh, that is absolutely devastating. This is, although I will say, Auto Arms is just, what, they're second place right now? I don't think they're in any danger at this point. Their consistent performance throughout the course of the night really nets them to a solid place in the leaderboard. They're not really looking for that first place spot because that's a little bit far-fetched, but now they're just genuinely punching their ticket into the finals at this point. The Wolf Result has been popped by Curry. He's not going to be able to get anything out of it as the Tree of Life is already secured by the members of Daejeon Cybers. Revolu not going to look for any aggression. He is not going to self-sacrifice himself in this one. Although Char, he's trying to play aggressive now. He really wants to lock in the points, and he does end up getting away to safety. Kachu does get knocked up, but that does mean G is completely isolated. Kachu trying to run away. We do see Char trying to go in for the follow-up. There's a Twilight Heist. Does he at least get one? Absolutely not.
No.
Super close, but a nice attempt.
Yeah, I really like that attempt. I really like seeing that confidence come out of I mean, I'm sure they've realized that they're maybe out of the running, so, trying to go for something a little more ambitious here and trying to, shake off any sort of anxiety they may have and play a little bit more confidently. I'd love to see it.
This is what you want to see from teams that are in desperation plays. It's what you and I have seen in North America for such a long time, right? Always though, we have memed about it in several past tournaments that you and I have casted, with each other or even ourselves, where somebody that is not doing so good, they just show up to the final game and is like, oh, I wonder what they're gonna play to switch things around. And we've seen direct results of that in the past too. I've seen some funny, I've seen some funny Mr. Spy Jackies coming out in North American tournaments way back in the days that did some stuff.
That's a throwback.
I still remember the chase he did for like 3 or 4 zones straight. He was just right-clicking on somebody and just ran him down. But
that was the Spy special. I mean, he was the OG chaser of NA. But looks like JCP is going to take this White Lily to get out.
Oh, the blink over though.
Kashu with the denial, but KCP still managed to get out, and the White Lily actually sending Kashu to a horrible spot. He's going to go down here, and so is the Elena of G. So yeah, clean little 2-0 kills for AutoArms there.
It looks so good, but it wasn't. I don't know. Team they are really fishing for opportunities, and again, I really do appreciate the fact that they are doing that. It's just not working out, and the further and further they fall behind, the less and less of these opportunities they're going to be able to find for themselves. For the first time in this tournament, Meek, I think we are having a couple teams actually fight for a force core in the battle zone. That's going to be the one up in Temple. For now, we're looking a little bit on the fight down on the south side, as Jumo should get taken down eventually, and now we can focus a bit more on that fight up on the north side. Team High stuck in the middle of multiple teams. They are running out of time, but there's so many tanky members on the side of Team Digit and Cybers that they've just accepted their fate. I don't think they're going to be able to last too much longer. Their health bars in dire straits. No real sustain coming out for this team at all. Down goes one. Bin and Kyungkwae should fall down correspondingly, whereas AutoArms trying to follow on through. Kill goes into the hands of Team AutoArms. Their timer's a little bit refreshed, and now Digit and Cyber's trying to duke it out up against AutoArms. Cinema sitting up in the front lines, taken down to about a quarter of his HP, trying to get some freezes as much as he can, but he's going to go down before the Danse Macabre can even come up. JCP goes down. Sadhan's the last one alive. He's not picking up any kills. A force core to the hands of Digit and Cybers.
Yeah, and if you're Dejong Cybers, you desperately need this tempo advantage to try and stay ahead of Saber, who still hasn't found their way to any kills yet. They've had a relatively quiet game, silently just scaling up the point, coming onto G here. Is this front-to-back fight going to happen? Jumo all the way in the back, a little bit split off. G is going to land the freeze, and both frontliners have gone down. The front-to-back has devolved into both backlines collapsing onto each other, and it looks like, yeah, Isana is going to come out on top here. G-Work.
Oh, no! Oh, yo! Yo, he's got the moves, okay.
What was that? There's RNG on the Wolf. G-Work desperately wants to get this. Isana is going to push forward here. I mean, G-Work. Okay, yeah, he's out. He uses the cast link to go into Research Center. A little bit of timer burn, but wow, the fancy moves from G-Work.
Alright, well, we got some cool things happening already. Team Saber down a member. Curry's going to get picked up by the Estelle. Luckily, the additional time bonus of picking up your teammates as that character is going to allow them to pick up the Nadine and start moving back up again. But it was a 1-for-0 in favor of the team that actually did kill. I don't think Team Saber was able to pick up anybody, and now they're in dire straits as Team Blanc has found them. Oh, this is bad. Curry is dead to rights. Minus 250 show has already begun. And actually, look at that. Satin's dead too. That is a minus 500 at Team Saber at the beginning of day number 3. They are getting the treatment exactly at the time that they didn't need this to happen.
Treatment, I love that. But looks like Team High is getting pushed in towards Dejong Cybers. Dejong Cybers is going to get this tree uncontested as High backs out.
Tree of Life secured by Dejong Cybers now. Revolu picks it up. We'll see what this decides to go for. Dina now maybe looking for a Scotties. I think this is the first time in a while I haven't seen Dina prioritize the Scotties, but we'll see what ends up working out for. I'll keep track of that to the best of my abilities. They still haven't built anything with it, especially with their inventory being as cluttered as it was. Kyungkwae not going to find anything. AutoArms just casually strolling away. Soulstealer invested. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, little strange, but you know, it is what it is. The disengage is found from AutoArms, so they managed to get away before anything detrimental happens. With them having the aggro of the wolves there, it was a little dangerous, but now that the wolves are gone, they are looking to try and make this fight happen with High. AutoArms kind of pushing forward here. This White Lily angle from Cinema could be huge. And he goes onto the back line. The Quake is down. JCP is waiting for this to end. Oh, no. Actually, they are going to back out. The Echoes of the Earth going to create the disengage that High desperately needed here. And now Cinema, without the Rapier skill and Quake, is not going to be able to get in here all so easily. He's going to have to invest the skate to push forward. Not really anything coming to fruition here. And, I mean, look at the shielding of this Priya. Nobody's taken any damage from the side of High.
Yeah, I think for Team High it was way better for them to just disengage. Without the Echoes of the Earth, you really don't have any additional ways to keep yourself safe. And look at the items on Ikasi. He is only sitting on the guitar transition. Cataclysm is good, but it's not that good, especially this early in the game when you have multiple frontliners on the opposite side. You gotta start tagging characters like the Razi, but it's so inconsistent when you're running the Priya. You have to just back away. You need more time to fight, and Echoes of the Earth allows you to do that. Without it, too risky.
But Omega has spawned. It looks like Chol is going to find his way to this meteorite. And Blanche is going to find their way to Omega with a red box in tow as well. Xenophine already at 3 transitions. I would imagine that the rest of Blanche is in a similar situation. But Daejong Cybers and fighting it out here. Revolu taking about half of Kachu's health already. But G in the backside trying to find a freeze on the Dina. He does. The Dance Macabre comes out, but it's just not enough damage with no follow-up. G goes down. Kachu goes down trying to follow up as well. And now Isana is going to follow suit. No, maybe not. Finds the kill on the Revolu. Dina blinking forward. Isana with the sidestep on the Dorito, but it's not going to be enough. The rest of the skills coming through. Nice fight from Daejong Cybers.
Good try from Team and you know what, for how unfortunate this game was, I think that fight could have gone as well as it did. Nice kill on towards, I think it was the Felix from Isana. But outside of that, nothing too much done. 3 kills in hand for Team will fall down in 7th place. That is going to mark the end of their tournament run in ERM Season 7. Season 7? Whoa, Season 5, Phase 2. I added the 2 numbers together. My apologies for that one.
2, 7. How did that even happen?
I don't even know. I think I added 5 and 2 together for some reason. But yeah, with that, it does mark the end of any of our new teams that we haven't really seen in the ERM phase. That's it. We're not going to see any of them in the finals, which, you know, is to be expected, but it is a little bit sad.
I mean, you know, for the new kids on the block, making it to the Wildcards is a huge achievement. These guys should hold their heads high. I mean, had they made it to finals, it would have been even better, but they played well in the groups, or the group stages. That final game from them in the group stages was phenomenal. So, you know, hopefully we see these guys come back again to competitive play. I really enjoyed watching them play. But now we have the stars of the show left. I mean, Launches and Auto Arms are already in, but these other 4 teams are all fighting for their tournament lives here. Saber and High with no kills at all is looking absolutely detrimental to their chances of making it into the finals.
Sir, yes, sir. But you know what? Who cares about the finals at this point for some of these teams? They're just having fun. Team Blanche.
Yeah.
They are on full transitions for Xenophine. I saw some funny stuff on their build, but for the most part, it's pretty standard. Oh my god, the damage rotation between Team High as well as Team Auto Arms is pretty good. Sadhand's still alive. Ghostfire is taking for them. Oh, that could have been dangerous with that little thunderstorm that could have crash landed straight onto Sadhand, but he is going to keep himself alive. The res onto Kyungkwae is going to come because the health bars on the side of Auto Arms was too long. It was too low, I apologize. Which means Auto Arms does end up recovering. Same thing for Team High. They will recover for themselves as well. Oh, we are still 18 players strong going into the middle of day number 4.
I don't know if anyone else caught it, but did anyone else see how fast Sadhand bought what I'm assuming is drones? I've never seen someone purchase something so quick at Lumi before, but another fight breaking out into the gymnasium of School. Blanche finding an angle onto Saber, and man, if Saber gets wiped here, I mean, Blanche is so strong, they're basically just stat checking them, and the hell is going to force this Estelle to be forced here. Douchey Man also going down, and now Satin on the tail end of things. I mean, 1 second left, he's going to pop. And Saber is now eliminated from ERM as well. I don't even know who's left to fight for this final spot. I mean, is it, I believe it's between Asher and High primarily.
Yep, it has to be between these two teams.
And Daejong Cybers.
Yep,
but High with no kills. Oh man.
Uh-oh. There's not too many points to go around left in this lobby either, and with Asher starting to pick up the wick line for completely free. You're right, I think it's looking kind of doom. I think our scoreboard and our leaderboard is pretty much locked in at this point. Team Blanche is just about to have fun. This is a wicked up team and they're running straight towards them with absolutely no fear. Xenophine, he is going. G-Work does not have any pawns prepped up. The queen is just about to start getting readied up. Sebi can get one shot from this composition, guys. Don't get me wrong, because Sebi, even if he's a tank, G-Work is late game right now.
Yeah, we've seen it before. All it takes is one finger point from Jumo into the queen combo, and Sebi could just be wiped off the map just like that. And look at the pawn stack, he's kind of hovering around it, but no, they are going to get split off from the spawn stack. The Raw Queen going to connect onto Sebi, good amount of damage going down between the Queen and the Ghostlight, but yeah, Asher is just going to disengage here. They maybe recognizing how strong Blanche is with their transitions right now, and not particularly opting for a fight.
Yeah, that's actually quite surprising if I'm going to be real with you. I thought Team Asher would have gone a little bit more aggressive with it, especially considering the fact that they do have Wick. And I think in the middle of that, High Noon was built on Char. So I was assuming they wanted to fight, but no, not at all. Maybe their positioning was a little bit weird. Maybe they're getting scared of Sebi. I have no idea what it is. Maybe Cenophine's the real backbreaker. I guess Cenophine on Abigail is the real terrifying force of Team Blanche in this one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you're running double backline, something like Abigail is absolutely menacing. Even if you have such good tools to deal with it, like Razi or like the checkmate on Adela as well. But yeah, they are just going to back out. Auto Arms versus Blanche, perhaps here. The White Lily coming into play. Cinema finding this White Lily angle again, and Blanche is going to go. No, it's actually Auto Arms going down. JCP already wiped on the ground. Cenophine is still very healthy. So is Bear. It looked like it was going in Auto Arms' favor initially, but the return damage from the initial engagement was just huge.
Cenophine got a huge...
Dejunk Cybers taking a little tip out of C&J's book here, but now Blanche finding Pi on the tail end of this fight. I mean, they did get some kills, so some cooldowns are reset, but Sebi is still very low. Cenophine also, I'm assuming without their ultimate, they are going to try and go in here. Sebi is going to go down. Cenophine does manage to find a return kill. Bear on the backside unchecked as well while Cenophine pushes forward. Oh my god, this Abigail damage is huge. And yeah, Blanche is going to be able to get Sebi back up as Asher rotates in towards Cemetery rather than checking out Hospital.
Are you and I really going to witness another possible win from Abigail? This usually does not happen, and the 2 times that we have seen it in ERM ever is going to be both when you and I are here. I feel bad for Super at this point, man. He is just missing out on all the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's what cheaters get, right?
True. That is absolutely true. Hikasi now stuck in the corner. That Ghostfire is going to kill him. That thing does a lot of true damage. Unfortunate for him, he will get wiped, which means now Team Asher, Team Blanche, and Team Daejeon Cybers. It's always Daejeon Cybers and Blanche, man. These teams are always final 2 throughout the entire course of the series, and then the last 2 are either Asher or Team Auto Arms. This is so funny.
Yeah, it's been a pretty consistent series actually, which is nice to see. It shows that this game, isn't completely RNG. While anything can happen, good play does get rewarded. But man, that Ghostlight, the interaction, and this is something I learned recently. I'm not sure if you know about this. The interaction between Debilitation and Ghostlight is kind of silly. Ghostlight reprocs Debilitation, so you just have a dot reprocking a dot.
Oh, what?
So that's why that damage is so high from that Ghostlight there off of G-Work.
Wait, how does that even work? Because Ghostfire is true damage, I thought. And Debilitation procs up with skill damage. What?
I was recently educated about this by Lucy, and I took her word for it. I didn't bother testing out myself, but yeah, it's but it would explain why the damage always looks so high from Ghostlight, right? It's it's a bit of a silly interaction, but with the upcoming patch, Ghostlight's activation does get nerfed a little bit, but we are on 1.32, so Ghostlight is a little easier for these players to proc. Sebi in his overflow right now, is he going to look for some sort of angle, or is he going to wait till Exuviation here? It looks like Magnani, tries to push forward here, but Blanche just kiting back, kind of chilling. They're going to wait for this Exuviation to end. Sebi investing the weapon skill to get to end, using the dogs to try and enter overflow again, or at least get his meteor more in a controllable state. Revolu trying to find something, but he's just kind of getting poked out by this Adriana. I mean, with something like Adina where you can provide that healing, it's pretty nice, but how do you find an angle in here? Magnani getting blocked with his stun, or knocking up Sebi with the shield, but now doesn't have a ticket to the backline. I mean, nobody can get on this backline of Blanche. They're completely safe, and if they overstep, this Abigail will be ready to pounce onto Dina, so they have to watch out. They don't want to create a springboard for this Abigail to jump off of either Felix or Estelle.
Okay, here we go. Xenophine. He also has the mythic weapon for himself. There's the ultimate coming in. There goes Dina down on the ground. It wasn't even Xenophine that did that. It was just Sebi. Revolu's gonna pop in just a moment. Xenophine's not even gonna fall. And look at this. We may have ourselves another Abigail game. If Team Blanche manages to duke it out up against Team Asher, they're gonna have another win on the comp that isn't the Mai, Debbie, and the what is it? And the Priya. So that's going to be a little bit of a funny switch up as well.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't found much success with this Adriana between the groups stage and in wildcards, so it would be really nice and a bit of a confidence bolster to see your backup composition have more success here. And I mean, with Abigail on deck and no less, how exciting would that be? I mean, we could even see Abigail in the finals if this goes well.
How much credits is that Abigail build right now? You got 2 blood samples, 3 force cores. I think this is one of the most richest Abigail builds I've ever seen in my life. You got Crimson, you got Scarlet Scythe, you got the Revenant, you got the Cyber Stalker, you got the Blood Ripper, you got the Hermes. If this doesn't kill people, then I don't know what will. This is literally the strongest Abigail I've ever seen in my life. But this is a comp that can definitely stop it. It's a comp that really disables the Abigail from walking up as soon as she starts making mistakes. There's even traps down on the ground as well. She misses a dimensional cleave. She's going to jump in on towards G-Work. And now, whoa, that's a little bit awkward. Beautiful blink away from Bear. And here we go. Checkmate. Is it going to wipe out Bear? Yes, it will. Click cut is going to be enough. Now, Char, he's still alive. But look at this. Xenophine trying to chase down Jumo. He's so isolated. Oh my god, he's walking away from the rest of his team. And he will get taken. Oh no! Okay, there it is.
Yes,
Xenophine gets the kill. Look at the health bar on the side of Char. He gets a reset. Xenophine! He keeps going and his cleaves reign true. There is the envenomization, and Team Blanche takes away their 4th kill of the game. 16 kills on hand, 4 games won. Congratulations and GG's.
And we get the Abigail victory screen. Bunny. Okay, anyways. Wow, Xenophine is just so explosive on this Abigail pick. I can't believe we got to see another Abigail win in ERM. I mean, I can't wait for a certain Italian to wake up so I can taunt him about how strong his character is. But
I think that guy's kind of scamming everybody.
Yeah, I think so. I might just send him a text message right now. Do it
right now with us two again.
I'll even rewind the clean feed to the Abigail victory screen, and yeah, like this is just gonna be a thing.
You know, maybe this is scripted.
I'll be busy for a second.
Maybe this is scripted so that Nimble Neuron can sell the battle pack more. I don't know.
Oh, true.
You gotta sell the season pack one way or another.
Skin, right? Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd imagine the sales are pretty good this season.
Oh, absolutely. I think with the win though, and them showing off the victory screen for the Abigail skin, buy your season packs, everybody. It might be not discounted anymore, but buy it.
Yeah, for real.
Whew, what a great way to end it out. And again, for Team Blanche, what an incredible turnaround from yesterday's set of games. With the comps that they were trying yesterday, I definitely think they struggled. But today, it seems like they really locked in a couple of the compositions they want to play. Even the Abigail, okay, I'm not going to kind of discount the Abigail one because this was a for fun game and I don't think they're playing it tomorrow. But for Team Blanche, they have 2 ways that they can go about this. It's Sebi on the Devi and Marlene, or it's Sebi on the Ekyan. Either way, you're trying to keep Sebi alive as long as possible because the amount of damage that he's able to provide while also pressuring the backline is absolutely insane. It's going to either come down to the Mai, Priya, and the Debbie and Marlene, which you're not going to be able to play because most likely tomorrow we will see multiple Mai bans throughout the course of the series. If we've learned anything throughout this weekend, it's that is going to happen. So on the games where you don't have access to Mai, you're going to have to probably play the Ekyan composition. And it seems like they kind of got comfortable on that roster today as well, which is really, really good.
Yeah, but we do have our final scores ready to go. So let's see who made it in. I think it should be pretty obvious with how that game's outcome was. But 115 points in Wildcards. Like, these guys just didn't belong in Wildcards or something. They were a clear outlier today from the rest of the lobby. But Auto Arms coming in second with 68, Asher with 65, and Daejung Cybers with 57. Congratulations to these 4 teams. They will be joining our finalists that were established yesterday in the finals.
Yeah, this is gonna be a banger and a half of a finals, man. Phase 2, we saw so many cool teams making their way into the finals in day number 1, and on top of it, we have to bring this back now because it is relevant, Meek. Mira and Sejong will not be making a showing in the finals. They dropped from the group stages, which means the winners of the Season 4 season finals and the Season 5 Phase 1 champions as well, they are not going to be here for the finals. This is the one chance that I think a lot of these teams are going to get to be able to grab any circuit points that are going to be remaining for the remainder of the season, because I do not think Phase 2 is going to be let go so easily by Mira and Sejong. They are going to come back fighting in Phase 3. This right here is the chance for the teams in finals to get whatever they can get going for the end of the season.
Yeah, and do you remember which teams it was from yesterday that made it into the finals?
We will have to see. Let me
I
take
can't quite remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't remember it too. Today just kind of knocked the wind out of me. All my memories of yesterday have been replaced with today for a good reason, because
Yeah,
today's
honestly.
games were absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, we had so many iconic moments. I mean, the one that stands out to me is that final zone
Yeah.
between Sebi and who was it, Magnani?
Yeah,
Or
in
Dishiman?
Factory,
I think
right?
it was Magnani in Factory, and that was just the 1 second difference was absolutely insane. I believe, yeah. So it was Gyeonggi, BNK
and
Furex,
yep, BNK Furex,
and who was
and then
from the other group?
Cartel,
Oh, right,
Sparkle
Sparkle Esports. I forgot about Sparkle Esports. A bit of a underdog team to not expect to, take a spot in the finals straight out of groups, but they played really well, and running that triple backline comp that just looks so powerful and so hard to engage on. I'm really interested to see how tomorrow's going to be, because a lot of these teams look really hard to engage on between Sparkle Esports and Blanche here. Those are 2 teams that just like, how do you fight them?
Well, either way, they're going to have to figure it out. Although, I will say, I do remember that for Team Sparkle Esports' composition, now you do say that they are an underdog team, and I get why that might be the case, because...
Oh, their roster is not underdog
No,
players,
no,
though.
not even aside from that. They always make really consistent showings nowadays. Ever since around,
Oh, did
I think,
they?
middle of Season 4, I think they've consistently made finals with that roster. And for
wow.
good reason, too. They're always able to find these picks. It's either they have 2 different styles of play. They play very slow in the earlier stages and then just make it into the final zone and then get kills. Or they play very consistently throughout the course of the game and they get a ton of picks and kills and then make it into the final zone. That is how consistent of a roster Team Sparkle Esports has become. So I have a strange feeling that tomorrow, I think Blanche might actually have a tough time dealing with that roster, because we know from Friday, from yesterday, that Team Sparkle Esports composition can kill tanks. It is really easy for them to do that as soon as they find one single source of crowd control on somebody. As soon as that happens, Blanche will struggle. So I think whether Sebi is playing the Debbie and Marlene or the Ekion, he's gonna have to really position well throughout the course of these fights. Maybe the shields are going to help, maybe it won't. The parry's also going to matter a lot if he is on Debbie and Marlene. Ekion, he's probably just going to die like after it.
Yeah, he might just get blown up.
We'll see,
And
yeah.
another thing to mention as well is Blanche in this wildcard lobby. It really felt like they were ahead of tempo a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of games where they were just, way ahead on itemization and experience.
That's not
In the
always
finals,
happening.
that is going to be a different story. None of these teams are, rookies around the block or underdogs. These are all like top talented teams making it into the finals. So the tempo advantage that Blanche has been having is not going to be a similar story come tomorrow. And another team that you can't forget about, the winners of Group A, Gyeonggi, they looked absolutely just dominant in groups. They looked like Blanche today, honestly.
Considering the fact that Blanche came out from Group A as well, it's going to be a clash of titans pretty much tomorrow, with Blanche going in against one of their their main enemies, main arch enemies, right? Up
Yeah.
against Team Gyeonggi NA. We'll see if the Debbie and Marlene comp is even going to be able to remotely compare to how dominant Gyeonggi NA was on Friday. And if it is, how are they going to be able to do it? What is the avenue in which you're going to be able to do that, considering the Debbie and Marlene? Yes, she is so good. The Twins Rush is amazing. There were Debbies yesterday too. They couldn't do a
Yeah.
single thing against Team Gyeonggi
no.
NA. So we'll have to see. We will really have to see.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw a similar comp today being ran by Saber. I mean, the same backline of Nadine Hayes, but Gyeonggi runs that Mai, and that makes things so much harder to infiltrate that backline. Oh, and when Mai's banned, they've been running Nikki, and it's almost like a complete script flip on their game plan. Because with Mai, they sit there and they look to poke with rockets, and then after a rocket hits for the slow, they land that Nadine Q follow up, and from there they pressure a health advantage. But with Nikki, they build the Ghost Bride's dress and they just send it on somebody, and no matter how far split this Nikki gets, they have so much range to follow up on any sort of pure age uppercut angle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tomorrow is going to be a very fun rotation. Guys, they're doing the Korean interview right now. I believe they'll show us what the team rosters, like the final graphic of what the teams that are going to be playing tomorrow are going to be like. So we're just buying a little bit more time, but hopefully all of you guys had a lot of fun watching the wildcards today. I told Meek, I'm gonna spoil some things that we were talking about during our little breaks, but I did tell Meek that the first few games were pretty textbook, right? Nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary. But as soon as we started going towards the latter half of the series, I definitely found it a lot more fun to watch. So for those of you guys who watched from the beginning and stayed till the end, you guys know I always appreciate you for ERM. This guy on my left probably does. I don't know. He's usually not.
Yeah, I like ERM. It's fun. I always enjoy casting it. My only issue with it is it's so early in the morning on the weekends. So when I'm not casting, I have a hard time waking up for it. So I usually catch like the tail end of it. I don't get the full story, but
I always have to be
you
awake
know.
for these to cast them. So
Yes, you do. So you never
como
miss
yo.
out. You are the true North American ERM historian.
You're a historian.
It's true. You've been around for it all, like you've been able to witness all the storylines and everything. So it's always nice when I'm here and I'm a little less educated on it that I can, ask questions about that kind of thing. And that also, poses for people at home to also get filled in on that kind of storyline that's been already paved.
It's always super comfortable talking with you about some of these old boomer Eternal Return memories anyways.
Oh yeah. I
mean, I go crazy about that stuff. It's nuts.
there's a reason I'm the old man on the screen right now.
Oh hell
right?
yeah! I might as well request somebody to make an old dial-in caster thing too at this point. I need to join you on that side.
Just the same dial-in you're using now, but gray hair and some wrinkles.
Oh, that would actually kind of go hard. I feel like gray hair dial-in would actually be kind of. Oh, okay, all right, yo,
Right.
Tay, you're listening,
idea,
right?
Nimble Neuron,
Tay, hello.
New art idea, hello.
Mod
Anybody
check?
out there? Mod check?
Yeah, that would be super cool. But yeah, again, kind of looping back to what I was talking about, I really do hope that all of you guys are having fun watching ERM. I know it's really tough on the times, and for me, I'd rather sleep too. But
for me, casting, it's not like a huge deal for me to wake because, with my job, I typically wake up at somewhere around 5 to 5:30 a.m. for work Monday to Friday. So long as I have a heads up, I can just kind of maintain that sleep schedule throughout the weekend and not stay up late like I did yesterday, and and be up and at 'em for this. So it's not a huge deal for me, but I know for a lot of people at home, this hour is ungodly. I mean, for the people who stay up all night, I mean, shoutouts to you guys queuing ranked all night or doing whatever it is you stay up all night and waiting for ERM. And for those of you who wake up, I mean, hey, I get it. So yeah, it's not easy getting out of bed at this hour.
Absolutely. For a night owl like myself, this is definitely tough, but we are always rewarded with some banger series. And you know what? Today's wildcards were definitely one of those banger series. Tomorrow, I think, is going to go even harder. We've already talked about some of the storylines that are going to be prepped and ready to go for tomorrow. For example, the Gyeonggi Innate times, the, Gyeonggi Innate X Blanche time story that's going to be done tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's so many more that is going to be upcoming tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a look at the teams that will be playing in the finals, and after that, we'll round it out. For those of you guys who are still waiting on drops, well, too bad.
Yeah, too bad. We will not be continuing this stream for drops. Yeah, if you look at these rosters for all these teams, all of these players are just like superstars. Like this is just like one of the craziest finals. All we're missing really is Amir and Sejong, and you would have like the ultimate finals. I mean, we've got player like Youngie is just so phenomenal. BNK FearX, previous ERM champions as well. Cartel, I mean, Boongwa's looked phenomenal all weekend. Peng has been positioning phenomenally. And Sparkle Esports as well. I mean, you can't forget these guys. Those 4 teams on the top, they made it out of the group stages, and the 4 teams on the bottom are our wildcard teams who we just saw today. And Blanche and Auto Arms looked phenomenal, especially Blanche. Even Dejong Cybers and Asher, like they look good. G-Work had a lot of really good plays. Magnani was looking really phenomenal. So yeah, it's going to be an electrifying series come tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, it was a great series. It was a great night. Now it's morning for all of you guys, so have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the finals, same time as usual, 3 a.m. Pacific time, 6 a.m. Eastern time. And starting from there, we'll see what we can do. We'll see you guys in the finals tomorrow. Have fun watching the replays, and we will see you guys see you guys tomorrow multiple times. Bye!
Yep, goodbye, good night, good morning.
Hey!
사람들에게 행복을 선물하고 싶어. 태어나서 연애해본 적 없으면 마법사가 된다고 하잖아. 마술사는 될 수 있더라고. 마술사 등장! 새 무대를 준비해볼까?